Welcome back, everybody, to another week of Queen's Frost Crown with these beautiful people. Hi, everyone. How you doing? I know some of us have been absorbed with other games, but we are pulling ourselves away from the world of Pokemon to come and see you guys on a Monday. Fantastic to see you guys again. Do a quick round of intros. We'll recap and we'll get back to our super awesome city that we got into this week. So we'll start with what are we going to start with this time? We're going to do random. We're going to start with Sarah.
Oh, hi. I'm Sarah, and I play Maximil, the Tiefling Sorceress Bard.
Yeah. And then David.
Hi, I'm David. I play Botran, the Witch Warlock, human Witch Warlock.
And Josh.
I'm Josh. I play Jaeger, the human alchemist gunslinger.
Followed by Zach.
Hey everyone, I'm Zach. I play Doran, the Dragonborn Barbarian.
Magic.
Hey everybody, I'm Magic, and I play Tarak, the half-orc monk.
And last but not least, Nate.
Hi, I'm Nate. I play Soren, the half-elf blade singer rogue.
See, I made you last so you couldn't go, ooh, that's me. Because then you knew it was coming because you were the last one.
It's true.
Tricked you this week.
I did think, ooh, that's me.
Love it. I'm Ben, BM the DM. You can find us on Twitter right now, but if it implodes, we'll figure something out to let you guys know. You should be in our Discord and hang out, but you know, that's the place to be, is our Discord. Where the hell is my other adult beverage? There it is. Found it. Okay. We're good. Hi, Mom. Thank you.
Yeah, we might migrate to smoke signals.
I don't know.
Why did you swallow Sarah?
Yeah. Why did you swallow Sarah? Because Sarah showed us the picture in the background, and she said, "I'm in my mom's tummy," and I'm like, "Why did she eat you? That's not nice." I'm glad it all worked out for the better,
Yeah.
but
We're so happy she escaped.
Yeah. Total
Anywho.
Kronos moment there.
good lord. Anywho, last week we did some stuff, namely Sam Art Q Go. Art from Sam. Yeah, you guys get to look at every time you join the game now.
It's so good. It's so beautiful.
Did you guys read the fun update?
Pretty.
I couldn't think of what to write, so I was like, yeah. I do these little things and nobody sees them. When you log in to Foundry, there's a description on the right hand
something
side.
about exploring a new city.
I always change the description when you guys make like major moments.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for
the City of Gates.
Yep, I've been doing it forever. Making me sad.
I've noticed. I just don't remember.
I've noticed it in the past. I just didn't notice it this time because I was like, "Oh, log in quick."
Yeah, this
I
time
think last time I saw it, it was the
It was
Temple
about
of June.
the city.
it was
As a writer, I feel your pain.
It was about exploring the City of Gates. It was about exploring
okay.
Busat.
you, me, and Magic will all get together and weep. Don't they make that whiskey now?
Words that are never seen.
Writer's tears. I was told
That's
that's the
Oh,
whiskey to
that's
drink what I'm writing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
No, I ran out of things to say, and I was like, I just need to get this game going. And this was like right before I took a break to get myself prepped, and I was just like, there's secrets to explore and questions to find answers for. Who knows the answers to these riddles? And I was like, it's me, but I'm not telling.
Yeah.
Oh.
What answers lie ahead for our heroes? I know, but I'm not telling.
Yep. It's because I ran out of ideas. I was like, I can't be witty today. I'm just gonna put stuff in here. It's because I was in scripting training all morning.
It's all here in my book.
So, we're gonna let the players recap last week because I have a off-screen guest who needs my attention. So, if you will give me a moment, and players, what happened last week?
Oh boy, long notes.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, really,
Nice
a lot of it.
Pretty sure that happens every week.
All right.
Lately.
So previously with Midnight Parliament,
Previously on Cyorion.
Parliament is sad. Parliament arrives in Busat. Parliament goes to Soren's place.
That is a recap.
What?
That is a very concise recap.
Jaeger has a fun little like stress breakdown in the crowds. We almost
Parliament
get
is sad.
fucking nabbed by customs office.
I'm gonna need like
Listen.
6 more adult beverages, please.
We went to
I
the
don't
Sapphire
know what they're
Vulture.
talking about. I have perfectly
No.
normal Busat accent. It's fine.
Yeah,
That was
so
amazing.
great.
I'm
But that was
sorry.
good.
That was beautiful.
That was great, and okay. So yes, you guys arrived at Busat, and everybody was sad for a minute, and then everybody was sad about Jaeger because they wanted to look out for him. And
Bought some weed. I got that down.
Yeah.
it wasn't weed; it was chaw.
Right, it's chewable. Right. Okay, so we bought.
It's
well, I mean,
literally
yeah, he
chewing
bought-
tobacco.
And
bought edibles.
Spackle has tchotchkes now, so there you go.
Spackle is adorned with tchotchkes.
That's right.
I just love that this is the first place where Spackle isn't like an aberrant horror that everyone looks at and goes,
Yeah, it's a normal thing here to see these things
it's
floating
just-
around.
like, oh, they made him a little dead girl for their familiar. That's cute. All right. Anyway.
Anyhow, moving on. Yeah. So you guys were sad for a moment, and then there was the sad lady on the walk that you guys wiped your tears off of, and then you guys didn't know exactly if you got held up at customs and decided not to go to the Adventurers Guild and instead regrouped at the tavern where Jaeger had a PTSD moment of meltdown, and you guys quickly headed north after that to get out from the busy streets. And you found that the Wharf District was by far the busiest. Not to say the rest of the city's not busy. I mean, you walk down, the street in New York City, Times Square is really, really busy. Ellis Island's really, really busy. The rest of it's still busy, but it's just not jam-packed with people moving in and out of the city. So still moving down the rest of the city streets, Jaeger felt maybe a little bit more comfortable because there was not hundreds of people. There was only tens of people. But it's still a very, very big city. I did not note, and I wanted to make sure I did, as you guys were traveling through, the only place you didn't have access to, which is the norm, as you recall, Soren, the bastion in the center of the city does have guards posted at all the entrances. It's where all the government work goes on. So as you're walking through, that's just the only place you don't have access to, which is also why it's the only map section you can't see. Yes, and the only place you can't fast travel to. So
Right. Because you got to have a good reason to get in there, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Cool.
where all the business goes down. So we ended last week with a gorgeous description of Soren's arcanery.
Yeah. My shop / apartment.
And
My ex bachelor pad.
trying to figure out how upset Sarai is. Not Sarai. I gotta go
Who's
look it
upset?
up. I mean, you did go to your shop first and go instead of going to see your wife. So, but we'll pick up back at the shop where you guys were all exploring Soren's arcanery.
Next, we were looking for a place to set up base of operations that would have enough space for 6 people. Oh no, angry wife. Don't put that thought in his head. Shush.
Oh no, that thought's been there since last week, and I was like, I have a wife, and if I was just like, yo, I'm going to the bar first to
Yeah,
hang
well,
with my boys instead of
my
coming to
wife is
see you, I've been
My
gone
wife
for
is
months.
cool and sweet and understanding.
No, but this backstory says.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I know it is absolutely what it says, but I'm gonna twist it to my own means.
Oh God. Yeah, so we're in the arcanery.
Cool.
Place is going to need more furniture, I think.
You're not wrong. More purpose built, honestly. Anyway, you can leave your things here, I suppose. I still have the lock for the key and the door. Unless we want to dump all of your stuff at my home.
I mean,
Down
if
the
this
street.
place is, this seems like a safe neighborhood. How are the schools? Is there a park?
Ben?
There is a park. I mean, in the neighborhoods itself, there's an open square nearby. But the really nice thing is there's the features about the ridge that are neat. This is kind of the mountainous sandstone that if you're looking at a desert, there's some dry spots with rock underneath the ridge. Where that's what the ridge is made of. It's mostly smaller cliffs. It's only got an elevation change of like 130 feet, but the rest of the city kind of nestles beneath the ridge, which is what gives it its appeal. And on some of those places, they're just not suitable for building houses. So there's some tropical fauna, flora, not fauna, flora available, like bushes and trees and stuff that have just kind of been maintained. And it's a standard practice for Luminary Academy students that are looking for a quiet place to study that don't want to be in the school. They will walk up the ridge and head out to kind of those little cliff sides that overlook Reloro North, which is where the school is, and they'll take lunch or study breaks up there under the shade of some of the trees and just enjoy the view. Even though it's not super high up, it is, it's a decent enough view that you can see the rest of the city. You can barely kind of see over the edge of the bastion's walls into that central area and see the features that make it up from here. But from where Soren Street is, if you got like up to the second window and climb the roof, you could definitely get a like straight view down into it. You can see it really well from up here. So yes, there is greenery nearby. The greenest portion would definitely be the grounds that are maintained over the Kizarvexis Luminary Academy. But if people are just hanging out over at the KLA without reason to be there, you start to get asked what you're doing. I could keep saying Kizarvexis Luminary Academy, but it is a lot of syllables, so I just keep it the KLA when we know what's going on.
I like it. KLA.
Yeah, it fits. It makes it sound like a real university. Where do you go? Oh, KLA.
KLA.
All I hear is KLF.
We need like a school
God
emblem.
Damn
on
it!
T-shirts.
Immediately in my mind, there's in our Discord, I steal one all the time, the tiefling cheer with the pom poms emoji. Now I've got a KLA all the way as she's at the pom poms cheering. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
That's cute.
Go team.
KLF is gonna rock you.
Hey, KLA will mess you up at some siege ball. Let's be real.
You can.
No, our team was pretty good.
Soren, can you explain your arcanery, like the front window bit, like the street bit?
Yeah, so the street angle, it angles back into a kind of corner. If you're looking down the alleyway, it is on the right side. It's the front door that leads into the L-shaped building. So it would be right about there is where the front entrance is. Like zoom fucking super far in. So it's right about there is where the front entrance is. The kind of little like stairs that lead up and then to the window on the second floor is over here, and then the adjacent like L-shaped part of the building is where the like study section and like little training pit and like library area is. The street level or the street area, I don't know, Ben, what else is on this little street here in the little the nook?
Yeah, so in this nook, I mean, it's out of the way, and we'll kind of bring the map down a little bit so I can see it. There's a few more buildings on this street, but that nook itself, the thing that is kind of directly kitty corner from that, is just a really small herbalist shop. That the windows are pretty much covered with just dried herbs hanging in the windows. You can see almost like when too much hard water gets like dried to a window and it's kind of got that tinge to it. It looks a lot like that just because of the humidity inside that shop from all the things that are in there. But it is directly across from you, and then up and down this street. Give me 1 second. I'm just backing out really quick to remind myself what else is on the bridge.
Gilded Page is down in the corner there.
Yep, there's a bookbinder shop down the corner, the Gilded Page. Other than that, I mean, the ridge is mostly middle to upper middle class residential. So there are some things like jewelers, bookbinders, import export shops, like places that have interesting things. There's a couple adventurers shops up here, haberdasheries, and like general stores that sell things to people who are working in and around the city.
Is there like a army surplus equivalent so we could get like cots or whatever to sleep on rather than bunking on the floor or whatever?
You could take a look around the city and see what you can find. There are a lot of shops here.
Would I know if the military outpost to the east would have stuff like that for sale?
I'm actually, let me see here.
Or would you know of any like furniture
Or, yeah,
makers that might be able to do it on the cheap?
Yeah, I was going
Right.
to ask that too. I don't know if they would, I don't know if that would raise any sort of suspicion if you just brought 6 beds in here for some reason or other, but
You would know that the adventurers, kind of the shops that cater to people traveling through and adventures in this area, would have stuff like cots available, because not only do they service adventurers coming through, but the mercenary companies that are hired out to do things like staff the guard at Mitatona and, put additional guard in the name of Busat up at Fort Rawing. Those guys all need to be supplied with stuff, and those companies take a contract on and then need to buy those things. So they're definitely kept in place here.
So yes, there's Mikolash around the corner. Jaeger, you'll hate him. He's a very giggly man, but he does sell sort of odds and ends, things like that for people to travel. And I think cots would probably be on his list of availabilities.
Jaeger's just watching out of like the front window, just agreeing, and you just hear him, all right.
Any followers?
Any followers, Ben?
One more time. Sorry, I was making a pun in my head and I decided not to, because
What was the pun?
no, I have already
Now you have to
expelled it
say
from
it.
my mind.
No,
No.
you gotta say
Yeah,
it.
say it now.
Yeah, as soon as you say that you have a pun.
It was off of the stupid the prehensile hair picture in Discord that's being worked on. I was like, oh man, it would be great if this little herbalist shop or something was named Million Hairs, like millionaires, and they were like, it had like all these like long grassy like herb pieces in there. But then
See, here I thought you were
nah,
gonna go with like an herbal essence joke.
no, too easy. I had to tie it into multiple things. That's the only way it's any good.
I thought it was just going to be the shop owner's name is Herb.
Good.
Oh, it better be.
That's awesome.
It is now.
Yeah.
It is now.
I mean, so you've known Herb for a long time, Herb.
no time for time.
But Herb runs a little shop next door called the Cliffside Blossom.
Any people?
I'm
Yeah,
actually,
15 perception check. I've been watching out the window.
there's people
anybody-
moving up and down the street, but it's a main thoroughfare and there's a few shops here. So, I mean, you're talking a minimal amount of people. Probably a dozen have gone by the window. 0 have looked in to see what was going on here. I'm just making sure to go to the ridge and add a note.
So,
It's like
are we not
making
to
it
raise
official.
Any attention with all of us going in and out here? Is there perhaps a back
Actually,
door that we could
what
use?
was the perception check, Jaeger?
15. 1-5.
1-5.
Yeah, with the group of you walking in, with the group of you looking in, there's not really a back door to rock, but you do spot an old man across the little corner area there that peeks over as you guys are like, as you're looking out the window, Jaeger, you make eye contact with this old guy like moving some of the herbs, and he like kind of looks through at you and then they quickly like go back into place.
So we're next to the herbalist shop.
It's kitty corner from you guys.
There it is.
Yeah.
The Cliffside Blossom.
Okay.
So a good
Jaeger.
tip for here is I would turn off your permanent bookmarking of like notes. So that way if you want to like get a good look at the map, this is Nate's shop. This tiny little place across the corner is the Cliffside Blossom.
Is it a shop? Can I peg that he's looking at us through
Oh
a
yeah,
shop?
like your guys'
the
windows
herb
are
place?
like this towards each other. Like people have to come into this little alleyway, and they either go to the Cliffside Blossom or they go into Soren's Arcanery. Nobody's been into Soren's Arcanery in a while, and now
Like
6
4
people
months.
just trooped into Soren's Arcanery.
The moment I see him like move the herb, I slam open the door and walk to his and open his door.
Oh, Max also wanted to go visit the herbalist.
Like I'm slamming the door behind me, or just like rage opening the door and going straight across.
It's going to be a problem. Somebody better go fix that.
Max is Max is there.
Soren-
Max is there. Max
Soren,
wanted to do this.
You remember Herb. Probably you've been gone from the city for just a couple months, even though it's like half a year. Herb's humans in Cyorion, just because of the way the time works, live on average like an old age humans like 110ish, 115, like really, really old.
Yes.
Herb in his senior years, in his late 80s,
Okay.
works very slowly, and you slam open the door to the herbalist shop, to the Cliffside Blossom, Jaeger, and there's an
I'll follow after as well.
old man going back, hurrying as quick as he can with a cane. I didn't mean any trouble. Please don't hurt me. And Max comes storming behind you, but Jaeger, you're in first.
What you looking at?
No, I'm just looking for my old friend. No
What do you
worries.
know?
Nothing.
What?
Coming in
friend?
Excuse
behind.
me, sir. Hi.
Yes,
Hi. Do you have
Hello.
Oh
Max, I
God,
got this. Hold on.
Sword, please. These people are trying to break in and take everything.
No, they're
no,
not.
I
I
just
promise you,
wanted
they're
to-
not.
I was actually, I wanted to comment that your shop is really nice looking. I like the outside decorations and all the herbs and stuff.
Why are
Looks
you
very
spying
nice.
on us?
He's not. He's a shop owner. He works here.
You sure about that?
I've
Well-
known the man most of my life. Yes. Sorry. These are traveling companions of mine. This is Jaeger, and this is. And I'll look at Max with just that look of like. I don't know. I feel like this is a hard idea to communicate, but like, you tell him your name.
I'm Max. Hi.
Oh, hello there, Max.
Nice to meet you.
Jaeger with an
18 insight check.
With an 18 insight, he's got his hand on a wand that looks like he was going for something.
What you reaching for?
I'd like to try to shake his hand.
It's
Just
like
very friendly,
very
like.
shakily is like.
I wouldn't try
Sword,
that.
You see the wand that you told him was for self-defense only. You had given him at one point a wand of magic missiles that you had rigged it up with a big button that if he just depressed it, it would activate it. And he's just like,
It's the senior's phone where it's only got 3 buttons. It's just
it's
shoot.
got a really big button on there that's just like, shoot at whatever you're pointing at.
No need for that. It's all right. Really.
What?
He's just.
Oh, hi, Sword. Good to see you again.
Hello. Yes.
Who are
He's
your
just a very
friends?
forward. We just spoke. Oh God. Oh no. Can I make some sort of check? I don't know what this would be.
Herb's mind was going before.
Oh shit. Oh no.
Oh no.
And you've been gone for a while, and he's
Yes. Hello. Good to see you again, my friend.
yeah.
These are my traveling companions. We'll be out of your hair. Don't. Does he have hair?
he's still got his long wisp of
Okay.
hair.
We'll be out of your hair. Don't worry about it. We'll just be over there. But
I got a new shipment in of the thing that you were looking for, though. If you would like it, I've got it.
fantastic. I will be back for that in a while. Yeah, let's go.
Do you have any like flowers or anything, Mr. Herb?
Yeah, I've got the dried kind mostly.
Okay. Do you have any like basil plants?
Yes, I have quite a bit of dried basil. Here. Oh yes.
Do you have any like live basil?
No.
Something that could like. Okay.
And he looks around. Most of the shops dealing in dried herbs at this
Dried.
point.
Okay. Nothing. Is there anything alive in this store that could possibly brighten up a room?
Roll an investigation check. Let's see how lucky you are today.
Okay.
While she does that, yeah, you're just as like casing the joint. Total like just disregarding anyone saying anything to me. I'm checking all corners and then going to the window to see his vantage point of where he was.
He's-
19.
Okay. He's got a old cot in the back. He really lives out of this place. It's a very tiny spot. In the back is like a cot and a kitchen sink, and then like a stove, like a single burner wood stove to keep him warm. Looking towards the back room where Jaeger goes, as Jaeger like moves the curtain aside and peeks in the back, you can see he's got a little bitty workbench back there, and back there is one little live plant in a clay pot.
Okay.
That he might be working on. But as Jaeger opens it, he goes, "Oh, don't go back there. I do have one live thing." And he sees it and then runs over and grabs it and he goes, "I just bought it and I'm working on it, but I haven't figured out how to dry it out yet to make it useful."
What is it?
He's put, now you saw the green stems before. Not sure exactly what. Let's make a nature check. See if you can tell what this is.
Goodness gracious, Ben.
Ben.
Come on.
Why did you do this to
Nature, that's 11.
You're not sure what it is, but you've been in nature enough. This is probably dangerous.
Dangerous.
You can make a quick nature check as he grabs it. Sure. Actually, yeah, your spidey senses might go off. Make a nature check to see if you're spooked by it or not.
Well, I am proficient in alchemy, so that should help. I think I get a
This is
bonus to that. Natural
specifically a
philosopher. Let me
nature
see.
check because it's a very obscure piece.
Identify herbs. I get
Okay, yeah. So this is not a herb.
half my proficiency. is
That's
proficiency.
Herb.
That's herb.
Hey, herb.
He's an
about-
older version of herb.
It's no. Well, yeah, okay. I'll just roll it straight up. That's
Yeah,
fine.
roll it straight up, see if you know.
Nature. That is a 19.
Okay. So this is a Cassian finger torture plant.
Hold on.
This is a derivative of Venus flytrap, essentially. So this is a very big gnashing looking two leaves, but they're also like really bright purple on the inside. And it looks almost like sticky sweet, as it would like normally eat insects or rodents or things like that. But the reason, Jaeger, you know this thing's known as a Cassian finger torture plant, is the imperialistic and ruthless Cassian military. This grows in the swamps on the far eastern side of Lemindor. They would cultivate these things, and then basically anytime you put something in there, it starts to chew on it. But the spines on it are rooted all the way down through the roots, and they would literally sink someone's finger into it, and then the teeth wouldn't just like close and trap an insect, but they close and they stab downward, so they'll wrap around the finger and trap somebody in there, and they'll leave you like shackled to a table with your finger stuck in this, and it will eat your finger
Ew.
over days.
I am going to do an insight check.
And he
I'm going
grabs
to
it and
make
he
a
just like quickly puts it on the
disadvantage.
counter and runs past you
Is
with
that-
it, and you're like,
Is that the thing that he got from me?
No.
Okay, good.
So with a
don't want
7
it.
insight check at disadvantage, I put a disadvantage on me because I did not trust him whatsoever. And my senses are a little wonky right now. But I was inciting to see whether or not he was lying this whole time and actually part of this secret organization that is cultivating these plants to trap people. And I believe
Oh, this
he
is not a secret organization. This is the Cassian military. This is an entire kingdom on the eastern side
Oh,
of
yeah,
Lemindor.
yeah, okay.
So they are very forthright about how they get information from people when they need it sometimes.
Okay, so then it's even more suspicious that he has the rights to a plant like this
Sure.
and is cultivating
Yeah,
it.
why
I'm,
the hell
I'm
would
just
this old
going off
man
of
have
weird
it?
conspiracies now.
Absolutely. Why would he have it?
Oh, that's a pretty looking plant. I like how it's a little purple on the
Does
inside.
Jaeger tackle this old man as he's carrying the plants?
No. But Jaeger takes a different demeanor and stance. Who is this plant for?
Well, I'm trying to dry this one, and I want to use the properties to make medicine because I think it would help, but I haven't figured out how to
Who'd
dry
you get it from?
while it he just completely ignores you. How to dry it and kill it, humanely while keeping the toxins intact. Because don't touch it. Get your hand away from it.
It just looks so pretty.
You'll lose your finger. Who's it
Oh.
for?
Me.
In the meantime, Botran, Turok, and Doron are sort of like, we need to cut this guy loose.
It's for
Is
me.
even there?
I'm just standing
I
in
don't
the
think
back
we're
of the
there. I
shop,
think
just
we're still in the arcade.
No, I'm
we're-
just-
yeah.
You know, me and Turok are sweeping to try
They're
and clean the
talking
place
about
up.
Jaeger. Talking about cutting Jaeger loose with this
Yeah,
madness.
talking about cutting Jaeger. We need to cut this guy loose.
No, I'm trying to work on it, but it's alive, and you could feed it things and
People?
No, goodness.
look at the
mice.
size of it. No, God.
It's not
It's
for
actually
that yet.
It's sizable Jaeger for most of these. Like they eat pretty well and they don't grow big, but he's been cultivating it somehow that it's, it's like my hands and regular size pen for reference. It's two of these next to each other.
Suddenly
What
the
have you
plant
been
leans over.
feeding it?
Feed me.
I was just thinking that. Is your name
I'm not
Seymour?
influenced by anything. And it goes, how did you know?
Blood. I want blood.
There's not a dentist anywhere on this block.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Well, it's alive, and you seem so nice that and then he finally notices Jaeger behind him. Oh, you have a sneaky friend. Who's your friend?
He notices me?
He as you were coming up behind him to ask him questions, he was really into explaining this plant, and then he finally notices the fact that you're behind him like a full minute later, when about 30 seconds after you say you'll lose your finger, it registers, and he's like, oh, hello.
Just try and get Jaeger's attention across, just with eyes mostly just. He's not all there.
Jaeger, do you interpret that for he's not all there, or shoot him in the head and kill him?
Don't do that. What? Why would I ever?
Well,
Why would
Jaeger's,
that ever be what I?
I'm
Jaeger's
not
a
that
little
far
tilted
gone, but
right
that
now. Just
that
checking.
may have crossed the mind, and it's
Thought
just like
crossed his mind, yeah.
just a little reality check there. I guess that would have been. Got it. This plant
Yep.
you're trying to kill, but you're keeping it alive by feeding it something.
Well, I've had two before, and each time I've dried them out, they lose all the good properties, and I can't get anything useful from them. They just shrivel up and die.
Are they good for anything when they're dried or no?
I haven't found anything useful, but it was just something to keep my mind busy.
They're good for when they're alive. Is the better side of that is that they eat people.
No,
No, they
just
don't.
fingers.
They eat things.
And as he
just
goes,
like
just
us.
fingers, he holds up a finger stump missing. Like this one.
Oh.
I got you.
Oh. So funny. I see.
I will angrily dismiss him and just go into the back room. I will ignore his warnings, but I will actually go into the back room and just check it, just to do the quality check, and then I'll leave if there's nothing back there.
I have nothing really back there.
Okay.
There's access to the very, very small building on the corner between those two buildings, which connects to a public lavatory, so you don't want to go back there. It's a little smelly. But if you want it, I mean, it's alive. You can have it.
You're done molesting this poor man's shop now. Can we go back?
Sure.
Thank you.
Miss, what did you say your name was again?
Oh, I'm Max. Hi.
Max. That's a interesting name.
Thanks.
Like the opposite of a little. Are you a lot? Are you the most?
I am so much, good sir. You got that right.
Very good. You have
Less than others.
brought the most with you, Mr. Sorn.
I have. Yes, I've brought.
Oh, did I tell you
Probably
I got the
too
shipment
much.
of the Sorcerer's Music, that powdered stuff that you were after?
Did you?
Yeah.
I will take that now. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, let me go find it.
What powdered stuff, Soren? What powdered stuff
Yeah,
did you
I don't know. What did I get?
you recall a conversation once that he knew a guy that might be able to get some sorcerer's news. It is essentially like wizard drug. When you take it for an hour, you add 1 to your rolls to hit and to damage for any spells that do damage, and you increase your DC by 1 for any spells to resist.
Interesting. Any deleterious effects to it or no?
Yeah, at the end of it, you are fatigued, and that's after 12 hours. So you're fatigued at the end of the effect. So it lasts an hour, then you're fatigued for 12 hours.
What would I? Would he have told me what fatigued implies? Like what it entails?
You just you get disadvantage on like ability checks. You get a level of exhaustion.
Of exhaustion. Got it. Okay.
But
It's,
wizard drugs.
makes you, it's cheating basically at magic. Don't worry about it. We probably won't need it. It was,
Could be useful, cheating at magic.
it's sort of your whole MO, isn't it?
Hey. I work
I'm only a
very
little bit
hard.
jealous and bitter. It's fine.
I work very hard to be able to do this flawlessly and without, like, trying.
He hobbles back out with his cane. Got it right here. Here you go.
Lovely. Thank you.
A little pouch with like 5 uses in it. As you know, any students come asking for that? He like looks at Max. It's not for her, is it?
No, gods no. She doesn't need it.
Okay.
She's, as you said, she is the most.
What's she the most of?
Magic.
Ooh. Don't give her that stuff. It'll do a lot for her. What'd you say your name was, dear?
Soren Jr.
Adoptive
This is
daughter of yours.
This is my son.
Hi.
Oh, best of luck to the both of you.
Thank you. We'll be going now. Enjoy your day.
Your illusion could use some work, my boy.
Just grab Max by the sleeve, just like, come on. It's a good thing he has shit for memory, because that could have been really bad.
So the rest of you back at Soren's Cannery see this whole kerfuffle occur as they burst in through the door. What are the 3 of you up to for the 15 minutes this madness is occurring?
Yeah.
Doran takes one look at the, 1.5-inch thick layer of dust that has accumulated and just says, well, this is never going to work for living situation. Come on, Tarak, let's get to work.
Yeah, I suppose we should. So, Frog's gonna clean a little bit and also start, probably to Soren's dismay, rearrange the furniture a bit so that it'll give us a little more room.
Not particular about that.
And just kinda
So much room for activities.
move stuff around. Yeah,
Bunk beds
just to
everywhere.
make it a little more livable for all of us in there instead of just one person.
Batrin, what about
But,
you?
I think I'm going to find a quiet corner and sit cross-legged and examine the crystal that I took from Jaeger. Just trying to see if I can determine things about it, and eventually I want to plan to see if I can't enter into the dreaming with an aspect of it of some sort.
Make an Arcana check for me. And you may make it at advantage because you spent a whole lot of time in Kasoba.
Nice.
That's 22.
So you have felt the energy and the essence of this crystal in one other place only, and that is in Kasoba. That's because you spent a lot of time there. It reminded you of the crystals on the ceiling at first, but then you remembered as you focused on it and you started to pour a bit of magic into it. What was interesting to you is that it stopped being about the crystals on the ceiling of this large cavernous infrastructure when you realize that this more so reminded you of the feeling when a few times you and Bryndoinum ventured to the edge of Kosoba and looked over it. That large, empty thing beneath. That Bryndoinum said that there was something terrible and great down there. It reminds you of the feeling you got looking into that. It is somehow related to whatever entity is under Kosoba.
I have a couple of questions about the dreaming then. And I don't know if we want to do that privately or if I can just go ahead and ask that now.
You can ask that now. I don't see why not.
I just want to know if the dreaming is sort of like a... does it touch all planes of existence or just certain planes of existence?
It touches
Good question.
only people in Cyorion right now, because for you, much like the sky above Cyorion is cracked, and when you consider exiting this plane of existence to go elsewhere and enter whatever dreaming states may be beyond, it is like running into the outside of a snow globe that is cracked.
Okay.
You can't make it past it. It looks strange and like a kaleidoscope beyond it. You can't find a way past it. I need Josh to trigger his like hue effects for his face as it's like It looks a little bit like a party beyond it, but it's not a party you want to attend. It just looks strange.
That answers my other question as well. So, okay, perfect.
Yeah, the crystal is very reminiscent of something in Kosoba though, and trying to figure out how to move it there, that kind of leads into a second explanation for you with wherever this place is that you're traveling to is so very vastly different than where you were. You're unsure whether or not you want to introduce that energy into that place. You're not sure exactly, or if it would be safer to first...
Well, my plan was to sort of like take a representation of it to my patron to see if my patron could give me some advice about it. So
yeah, asking her about it, definitely. Trying to bring its energy and a representation of it and some piece of it in with you to show her might not be as good of an idea.
Right. Okay.
Interesting.
Big
I'm
old
trying to
22
figure
arcana
out,
checks.
Yeah, I'm going to try to figure out if I can... Is there some sort of ability I have to craft a visual representation of it that I could take along with me?
Oh, you can, when you get into it, you have and you know that you can manipulate the essence of the dreamscape, that you can physically just like bloop, pop it into your hand.
Okay, that's
You
what I
can
wanted.
make a representation of it.
Okay,
Very
perfect.
much like lucid dreaming, you are in control in that environment.
Awesome. And at some point, I make notes to myself that if Jaeger ever does fall asleep, I just want to like sort of enter that dreamscape and like, you know, give him some sort of like soothing message like, not everything is dangerous. But
You make that mental note.
yes.
As Tarak and Doran find some
And Spackles helping with the cobwebs.
Spackles trying to work on cobwebs as best she can, or as best they can, and you both find some scraps of cloth to get over your faces as you start to dust and clean this space. And the rest of you come in, and Tarak and Doran are aproned and masked up as they're trying to clean.
Oh, you definitely didn't have to do all that, but thank you.
Well, if we're going to be living here, I don't want to breathe it in.
That's fair.
So what was that all about? What did you run
God.
off for?
Soren got drugs.
What?
Yes, well, that wasn't the main reason.
Oh,
Drugs.
but what happened?
He thought there was danger, so he followed after.
He
Well,
was
Luckily.
staring
Oh,
directly at us
was there
through
danger?
his glance.
No,
No.
he was just
I
an
mean-
old guy. He was a
Oh,
nice
and-
old man,
He has
Jaeger.
a cannibalistic plant
wait,
that eats
and-
things.
And Jaeger
Cannibalistic.
Jaeger managed not to kill him?
He did, actually.
Well, that's
I
progress.
didn't kill him.
Nice. We
I'd call
should
it growth, yeah.
Yeah, we should drink to that tonight. That's good.
The bar is on the floor, y'all. It's on the floor.
What? He had a bar on the floor. That's very inconvenient.
I
You
don't
have to
think she
stoop
means
down
that
to
type
get
of
away.
bar,
Oh,
Tarak.
well,
He's a literalist.
wait. He
All right, we
Confused
need
now.
to kind of get
Okay,
our
all right.
bearings here. What? Okay, we have established a base of operations. Yes, good,
Right,
great,
so-
wonderful. What is the next step?
Well, I need to go see my wife and maybe my daughter. I don't fucking know if she's even in the city, but
Oh, you know,
Last
she's
time
my-
I saw your daughter was up north.
I know, but you know,
wasn't she with
Tavin
those
gets
like
around.
crazy like pygmy halfling pirates or something?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Although then again, I mean, we could create the doorway to tavern, and if she wants to come home now, we can bring her home.
that is not a bad idea.
Can we do that? Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah, we can
We have
take
the
people in. We can
doorknob.
take people
No,
out.
yeah, but can we take people like?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it with the ramen shop people. Remember?
We did. Yes.
Yeah.
And at some
Okay.
point,
We
I mean,
still-
we're going to have to sort out things with the Adventurers Guild.
Are we?
Will we?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
do
don't
we
know.
want to
Maybe.
continue having people think we're dead, or
I quite like being dead. Spackle, how do you like being dead?
God.
Anyway.
There it is.
I've never died.
Can I inside check that?
Sure.
Big die.
I mean,
Go. Don't fail me. Fuck.
Flash your profanity.
It's a dirty 20 from a 10.
it's not bad.
I mean, it's
Not
hard to
terrible.
it's hard to insights check a familiar.
Yeah.
But I mean, with what you know of familiars, she is a they are a magical entity.
spirit.
Yep, spirit. And with Botrin's background, it could definitely be tied to more natural spirits. But you're not sure if Spackle's ever actually died, even with the dirty 20. You're just like,
Huh. Anyway, I'm going to go see my family. You want to come? Well, there's probably... What time of day is it? Like 12ish?
yeah, it's still pretty early in the day. Probably, yeah, I'm like 11.
I'll go tell her that we're here, and then I'll let you all know if there's food. I don't want to surprise her and have a panic about making food for 7 people.
Also, Soren, on your way to going to your wife, I think you should give a call to the dragon that's here.
Oh god, that's right, they are here. aren't
Yeah,
they?
there's a dragon here. Gold dragon.
Bronze dragon.
Free something?
Bronze? Maybe? Pulling it up. Hold on.
I thought Simoposi was gold.
Checking.
Yeah. Some Posey was
but
gold.
It's like Simoposi's kid, right?
I just
Yeah.
don't remember the kids' names.
They
It
are
was
gold
free-
dragons. They're gold.
Free something?
So
There's-
Free.
there's a dragon?
6 of them.
in the city?
There's the 2 young adults, and then there's the 4 worm.
Oh, and there's the babies too. Yeah. Forgot about them. Shit. Anything you want me to ask her specifically? It was a female dragon, right?
Well, the brother was there too. The brother that we
Okay.
had the little bit of a disagreement with.
Oh, yes, the one who almost ate us. That was fun.
Yeah.
Good job.
So you should probably just do a sending to them, be like, hey, we're
Let
here.
them know.
How y'all doing? Where are you guys? When should we meet? Just something like that, so we don't forget about
Yeah.
it.
That's a good idea. All right. Pop out the book and just kind of sit for a moment before I go and surprise my wife. I mean, I let her know that we were coming, but
What
Was that a
what was that
landline?
piece
Simoposi's
of-
calling.
What was that piece of ancient technology?
That was Herb. He was
It
doing
was-
something across the way.
Damn it, Herb.
Yeah.
he's got a landline.
Hey,
on the phone.
there's
I
some weird
am at my
folks in your shop.
grandparents' house. They
It's a
still have
call
a
for that very
landline.
intense young man.
I don't trust those wireless sending stones.
God dang it all. Okay, so yeah, there were 6 dragons, and then there were the 2 elves that were caretakers of them. So there was Lindis, and Carthina Winthera. And then there was the 6 dragons, of whom you met Norelf, which was
Norelf. That was the one we almost fought.
That was the one you almost fought. And then there was the female Friandiri.
Right. What was the blade singer's name? Because she tagged along as well, right? With the daughter who was a druid.
The daughter
that
was
was-
the druid. Lindis was the daughter. And
Okay.
then Carthina.
Carthina, that's what it was. Carthina of somewhere. She was like, anyway. I'm just going to send a message to her then.
Carthina,
To
okay.
Carthina. Just, hello, Soren here. We are in the city, in the Ridge. Where and when should we meet? Hope all is well. Are you doing all right?
After a moment, you hear a frantic voice come back. Giordon, don't touch. I'm sorry, Soren. Giordon, don't touch that. Okay. Sure. We're in Busat too. Come meet us at crap. Where's my table?
Those aren't part of her word count, right?
No.
Crap.
Come meet us at the Fish and the Flute.
Do I know where that is?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just mental note of that. They are at the Fish and the Flute, which I can take you to later. But all right, I'll be right back.
The Fish and the Flute is a place that's over in Pars Heath.
Oh, cool. They're in the nice part of town.
Pars Heath is the poor part of town.
Oh no, that's the bad part of town. Just kidding. Never mind.
They're
thinking of
low
the,
profile.
The
I live
Silk
here.
Grove.
Okay. All right, and then you head off to go see the wife.
Yep.
I have a good tavern icon. Sorry, I'm just. That's a temple. I mean, taverns are temples to some people. There it is, Tankard.
Taverns are temples to some people.
I want that on a shirt.
Okay. So you head out to meet up with the wife. What's everybody else doing?
We're gonna stay behind and keep cleaning.
HGTV D&D.
There you go. Yeah. House flippers.
Flip my house.
HGTV D&D. Got
Because
it.
some of us who have magic could make this job a lot easier. Mix a
Yep.
meal.
I was gonna say just press the digitize. Press the digitate.
1 cubic foot at a time.
Yep.
Just like Minecraft.
Basically, so it works. It works really well when you guys put your heads together and start like dusting everything into a pile, and then Max prestidigitates the tile, or the one pile. And it works really well as soon as the team effort starts. There's a little bit of magic, and the outsides of it is like parts of the dust didn't get picked up, but it all just creates a sudden vacuum and disappears.
Is
I
there
wonder where
a,
that dust goes.
I'd like to imagine that the dust goes into like Imana's place, you know? Like
the
wherever
dust
she
dimension.
lives, it just suddenly drops there. Like right on her head. And she wonders why and where it
We
came
should
from.
start prestidigitating shit.
it's probably the Fae. That's why they're so angry, is we keep sending stuff to their realm.
I have a pocket dimension character that's basically the Grinch because everybody prestidigitizes their shit and like
my
their
God.
garbage. Just like the
Oh.
Grinch had the Who's dump all their shit on him. Yeah, and he's lives in a little.
trash.
He's a if I remember, I've got him written somewhere. He's in one of my fucking million files, but he's just some dude that rose to a demigod status because he was so bad and vile in life that when they tried to send him through hell and through the afterlife, they couldn't clean him, so they stuck him into this dimension, and his soul is just perpetually the Grinch of this place.
Can say, is he a lich that actually turns to a dead guy that's just bones because he's Jack Skellington and his dog turns
No.
into Zero? Because
He's a
that's an
ghost.
awesome fan theory.
You're a mean one, Mr. Lich.
I almost had beer come up my nose. Thank you. Oh, God.
Christmas one-shot idea, huh? Huh?
Success.
Okay, so as the rest of you perform HGTV Busat, what was the?
I have an agenda.
Do you?
Is there a blank wall?
Yeah, Soren, is there a blank wall?
Oh yeah, most of the walls are blank.
Sweet.
It's
picked
just wood and stone.
probably the largest, blankest.
You pick the biggest, blankest wall.
Things will happen over time, but right now I'm just digging through my bag.
Okay.
We'll come back to this.
Soren?
Max would also like to suggest to the group that we make a back door. Because we've got a square somewhere behind us, like a little courtyard area behind us. And so we don't have a back door, and I think we should really have an actual back door. Because although we have Soren's, the fancy little thing that takes us to the other dimension, we should make a back door.
I hand her a bomb. There you go.
Before we get too crazy, I
Minus
mean, I
one.
think we have to, like, I think there are things we have to factor in here, like building permits, destruction code.
Wait. Why don't we make this a little easier? Is there a window that points towards the back?
Yes, there is a window
Okay.
right there that points to the top of this person's house roof or whatever, and you can see down
All right.
the city. into
As
there.
There's, I
As
mean,
Max
fun as
puts
it
the
would
bomb
be
into her
to-
backpack.
Yeah. As fun as it would be to blow up someone's place the first day we are here, why don't we just consider leaving through the window if there's trouble?
It would probably make us the worst house guests in all of history if we showed up and just bombed the place.
I'm just, worried some of us may
Wait,
have difficulty
Max wanted
stepping
a
through
back
that
door.
window.
It's a floor-to-ceiling window.
Botrin,
It was,
Botrin
it was in the
and
description, yeah.
Okay.
What was
Botrin and
that?
Dord.
Oh boy.
As you guys are talking about blowing stuff up, the two of you realize very quickly, as like in the area at the back of the studio where like the little mannequins are and stuff, the reason Soren was able to use that space as he was and blow things up and like have people shoot spells there is because there's a lot of noise coming from the other side of the wall. And you two have a passive investigation and see that there is the thin outline of a door behind that area in that like little spell firing pit. You're not sure what's actually on the other side, but Soren knows, and he's already gone.
It's the load-bearing back wall.
It's not a load-bearing back wall. Damn it, Sam. What's it?
Whole building.
Bring it down.
There is
Oh no.
on the opposite side of the street, even just with your quick insight checks, like since you guys have a passive insight, there is a little shop on the other side of the street called the Cracked Gauntlet, and there is a back door right there that leads up into their workshop. Soren, you knew it was there and passed a deal with the dude a long time ago that if you ever needed to get out quickly, you wanted a back door, and he understood being a half elf himself, and you guys had a handshake deal that you could always get back out there if you needed to.
Oh, what's his name? Best friend. Best friend neighbor.
He did not do really well in his time. I'm trying to find my statue. I wanted a good. Oh nope, sword. There's the Cracked Gauntlet. Wanted a good little icon for it. So that gentleman, name list up here, Nilvoril. He didn't do super well in his time, and the reason he likes the blacksmith shop is because it's quiet. I mean, quiet for him. He can just retreat into his own mind, and people don't bother him. All right. Gosh, it did it again. I don't know why. Anywho.
All three of them?
Yeah, all three of them.
Hmm?
Strange. I'm going to just go ahead and reset my Foundry since I'm not streaming it to anybody. But we'll switch back over to the person that's not trying to blow holes in the wall with bombs and make secret back doors. The man who owns the shop himself, heading back over to the Gilded page. Why don't you, since you're just going to the shop, I assume. There, now I have ambience. So weird. don't you give everybody a description of what the gilded page looks like as we get to see it for the first time?
All right, so on the ground level, it is a charming small leatherwork and bookbinding shop. As you walk in, the back wall is just littered with hanging handheld tools and just all manner of like detail work tools, all these little hammer and chisels and things like that. Just behind the counter is a little island workbench with different samples of leather, some of them dyed in very rich colors, others kind of stained to bring out the more natural, vibrant tones. All along the walls are just stacks upon stacks of different types of like parchment and paper and other tools used for pressing and steaming and curing leather. The counter has just various different little like sample cuttings of detailing and stitching patterns and dye palettes, all kind of like hammered together so that they can be like fanned out. And then along the back wall, there's also a set of stairs that lead up that I'm going up right now.
If you're coming in midday, I think Saviel would be downstairs working. Yeah?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, as you kind of come in the front door, the bell goes off and she's hard at work. Midday. She's working down on the island. She goes, be with you in a moment. Her back's turned to you. She's like working on the spine of a book.
Oh, all right, I'll wait.
And immediately all the tools hit the table. And how long have you been in town?
About 20 minutes, don't worry. Wanted to make sure that they all had someone to stay so that they didn't invade. I have them at the Arcanery.
Oh, of course. I mean, I figured you'd be over here in a moment considering the alarm started going off as soon as you opened the door.
I was glad to see that they are still working. That is lovely. I was kind of worried about the enchantment. It was, I don't know, squishy.
At this point,
Not my best.
as you continue to try to talk about it, all the tools have hit the table and she's run across the shop to embrace you.
Just pick her up, do like the, like raise up, spin around once, and then put her back down. How's things been?
Apologize. I'm in the middle of work.
That's all right.
Give me a sec. And just kind of goes over to her like little cleaning area and grabs the fast orange, Cyorion edition. You know, gets the grease off her hands. I've kept myself busy since, you know, your daughter. She's not mine.
My daughter,
point, as she has now left the city. I don't know who Morefellow is, but he keeps me updated. Did you know that he has his ways, much like you do with the ascending. It's intrusive.
Sorry about that. It's fun though. I picked it up along the way.
Yeah, he's taught her how to do it.
Oh, good. I was worried I was going to have to, and she's... Anyway.
She's terrible about it.
Yeah.
Maybe once every 2 weeks.
Oh, that kind of terrible. I was imagining it was going to be 3 a.m. Mom, guess what I just learned? It's the coolest thing. I can't wait to show you. That sort of thing.
Don't get me wrong. That's exactly how they come in.
Oh, but it is every 2 weeks. Well, how about this?
Would you like to know the last one she sent?
Of course.
She reached out while she was apparently drunk with a tribe of warrior women halfling.
Yes, with the drums and the ships and the war cries and
she started to tell me about it and started chanting, and then it cut off. And Morefellow immediately sent another message and apologized profusely.
How about we go and express our disinterest or our disapproval of this unrepentant breach in communications?
No, he left me a present too. And she kind of like holds, like, open up a drawer and you see a few spell scrolls in it. Mm-hmm. These were sent one of these strange creatures. I haven't seen them before. The Luminary Cadre has like their own oh my gosh, she wouldn't be stumbling on the name. I'm stumbling on the name. Your cat. I'm sorry.
familiars,
Yeah.
owl cats?
Your actual cat's name. She's going to refer to it by your owl cat's name.
Astrid.
Astrid. Yes. Thank you. I don't know why I was stumbling for a second.
That's okay. It's not like you have an entire city to remember.
She goes, like Astrid, you know, the familiars that the Academy has. This was a strange creature, like made of clay almost, but it was alive, and it came that it was on behalf of Marfello, and he gave me these. And
He gave you a golem?
No, she opens the drawer and there's 5 scrolls in there. One of them has the seal cracked, and it's now been read. But you take a glance and you know that they're scrolls of sending. He said they were for revenge because he knew that she'd be up to no good with the ability to cast this.
I see.
So my disapproval was expressed in the best way it can be expressed when a young girl goes drinking and having fun with her friends. 6 hours later, when she's fast asleep with a splitting headache.
Excellent. I find disapproval is best expressed in person. How would you like that?
Oh, that's right. You have the doorknob thing.
Let's go get lunch. Let's
Okay.
I'll go rustle up the troops and find somewhere to spend the day.
Absolutely. Let me change and close up shop. And can I meet you back at the Arcanery in 10 minutes?
Of course.
Okay. And she'll
Give her a
quickly
kiss on the
leap
forehead and-
upstairs. Well, yeah, she's taking the stairs 2 at a time. Running up, very excited.
I'll scoot back to the workshop.
Okay. You come back to people arguing with bombs and talking about the back wall, and
My gods, it's never been cleaner. This is amazing. So, who wants lunch?
Oh, I'm starving.
I think
How are
we've
things at
definitely
home?
worked up an appetite.
Is your wife okay?
She's wonderful, yes.
Good.
Happy to see us all.
I suppose I should work on my accent a little more. Hello, I am a local.
Getting there.
It's
better.
fine to. Ugh, it's more trouble than it's worth.
Ben, real quick question, just because I forgot to write it down. What was the name of the place that the dragons are staying at? The Fish and something?
Fish and flute.
Yep, the fish and flute.
Fish and... Cool. Thanks. That's all.
And Doran, if you need somebody to teach you, you know, how to sound like a local, you come just talk to me. Right? You know, so you
Somehow I think that
Why
is
are you looking
what is
at
the
me like
expression
that?
they call the blind leading the blind on that one, Tarak.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If
You know what? I'm just going to use my normal
Just-
voice, and if
just-
anyone else gives
just
me
re-
crap
re-
about it, I'm
repeat-
just going to break them.
Just repeat after me. Good morning. See, good morning. Good afternoon.
morning. It's too much work.
hey,
More of
hey
an
Ben,
O to it.
Yeah.
so if is disguise self, if I cast that at like a higher level, could it like illusion a voice?
You
You can do that with minor illusion, can't you?
Yeah, but I would have to recast that a lot.
This is true.
You are disguised, and it doesn't hold up to physical inspection. So I would say that in this, if someone was to scrutinize it and scrutinize the voice, they may hear on a successful DC that the voice is being disguised somehow, and it's incorrect. Like there's underlying tones and diphthongs that would belong to like a different accent that's clearly being overwritten magically, but it would make a person appear as if they we're using a proper accent to
Look,
most laymen.
I think the best thing is I'll just remain silent, and if anyone asks why I am silent, you just tell them that I have my tongue cut out.
Or you have a cold.
Don't
That's
tell him
also
your
all
tongue's cut out. That's probably the worst thing you can do. And Savio's standing in the doorway. Good to
Hi,
see you
Mrs.
again.
Clendare.
Hi. Why are we cutting Doran's tongue out now?
Yeah, I had
the
slight panic at the Port Authority when they questioned my accent.
Oh, you should have heard it when I came to this town for the first time. Yeah. Oh,
I don't think you've told me the story.
Oh, well, I mean, you've never really met Mother and Father, and there's few that know where we really come from. She happens to be double. Checking to make sure I'm correct. She's a words today are hard. This is what happens when I had to do 6 hours of like scripting and programming training today. Words are coming very difficult to me. Your wife is a Asimar, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. We're not really known for having an intelligible accent or native language to most people who don't speak Celestial understand the accent at all. I learned Common long before I met Soren, but I have something that might help you if you give me just a minute. It helps me when I got here.
I mean, I would welcome the help, I'm sure.
She runs back to the Gilded Page, and within about 2 minutes she's back. It's very quick. I mean, it's 2 houses away, essentially, or 2 buildings away. She comes back and she's like, they're gonna be old and stale, but just chew one. And she hands you this pack of these like red and purple gummies. The effects of this is for the next 6 hours. Yeah, they're bitter. I'm sorry, they're not the tastiest thing. But you speak with a common accent for the next 6 hours. If you're speaking common, your root language accent goes away for 6 hours.
Oh, I think those need a little more time. Wait. Wait.
Put him back. He's broken. I don't like it.
It's really weird. Yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to.
I am not used to this. Oh dear.
Oh, what did she do to you?
Spackle is like,
Purple burglar alarm. Oh dear. Oh my. Well, it's certainly going to help me stay incognito. No one will think twice about a dragonborn with a flawless common dialect.
I mean, you get a good Busad accent like that, it helps you out. It was really hard to start a business where most people couldn't communicate with me the finer points of, what they wanted done, and I could explain the price to them. These help. There's a couple of the embassies that sell these. They're very helpful.
Well, it's wonderful. Yeah, that will help immensely. I'll hang on to these. Thank you.
Yeah. There's like 6 or 7 left in there.
How long
Who's
does it
your
last?
6 hours?
Okay. Oh my god.
based on the 22 that I had earlier, would I be able to determine if I could glean any more information about this crystal from an enchanter or an artificer of some kind?
You were reaching to the limits of your knowledge, and you spent, the better part of 30 years in Brendoinum's library. There would be few who could challenge your knowledge on this subject.
Okay.
If
Gotcha.
they were here, though, they would definitely be at the academy. This is probably the one place in the world where you could find someone who could challenge your knowledge on this, and it would be at the academy.
Okay.
So last time I saw you, you were
We're in the
5,
desert.
and
Oh,
did
yes.
not have this gentleman with you.
No,
Hi,
that's
this
true. We
is-
haven't introduced him.
This is Jaeger. He's traveling with us for now.
Jaeger, nice to meet you. And she walks up and extends a hand.
Careful, sometimes he bites.
You're
He also
muted.
blows things up.
He's
and
also
shoots.
muted.
He's also muted.
Muted.
Oh, no.
Sorry. I clicked my mute on my mixer. No, like he's on the floor, like actively pulling things out of his bag and like putting it on the ground, and just like stops for a second. Hi. Yeah, I'm Jaeger.
Good to meet you.
Just grab her hand, I guess, and shake it. Like, who are you? Sorry.
I'm Soren's wife.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Best behavior, Jaeger. Don't try and, give her the third degree.
I promise you she's not a spy.
I wasn't looking for spies. I saw some activity. I had to go check it out and make sure it was okay.
Ooh, suspicious activity. Where?
He thought Herb was some sort of spy.
Herb?
Because, I know.
I didn't think he was a
Herb's
spy.
About 200 years old, I feel like most days. I have to check on him, but he mostly forgets who I am.
Oh, that's terrible. You remembered me. You must like me more.
Oh, Matt, he's up to something.
So we're supposed to go meet the dragons at the, what is it now? Fish and Flute?
Is it
That's
within
an
walking distance of
interesting
here?
place. I mean, it's in Pars Heath. It's
Like-
not too far. 10 minutes.
Okay.
We're meeting dragons. What?
Yeah,
Did we never
catch up.
explain? Jaeger, we know dragons. It's fine.
We're meeting dragons for lunch.
Yes, you want to meet one? They have 6, I think, somewhere.
Yeah.
There are
Pars
not
Heath.
6 dragons in this city.
Oh, indeed there are. You are going to be amazed. This is wonderful. Come on.
For all we know, there could be more.
Yeah, Jaeger, we talked about this before, didn't we? The whole thing before we saw you, there was...
We almost got eaten. Max saved us.
I wouldn't go that far, but I just...
You
I
saved
would.
us.
I,
Yeah, you absolutely. You talked down a charging dragon, not something easily done.
A
That's a natural
heartbroken
thing.
charging dragon.
That's
That's a
very
natural
impressive.
30 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like 33.
That's quite
It's ridiculous.
anyways, we're friends now. We're friends with dragons.
Well, you've certainly come a long way from being dead.
Yeah. Actually, that was while we were dead.
Yeah, the neighbors are talking.
Oh, well, let them.
They've
told
seen
you.
the show and they came to offer their condolences.
Did any of them bring food?
No, I told them you were fine and that the guild was misinformed.
Oh, damn.
We
Well,
really
there goes
probably
that.
should sort that out, I think.
When
Yeah,
did you
right.
change your voice?
He's always
What
talked like that. Haven't you noticed?
Gatekeep, gaslight,
Gee.
girl boss.
Gang, girl boss and shit.
Maybe we should get lunch. We seem to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Well, no, he's just not paying attention right now, but that's all right. But yes, I am hungry. What are you working on over there? What's all that stuff?
I don't have it ready. I mean, I will. You guys can. I'll watch our stuff if you want to leave it here. And
No,
I'll
no, you're
lock
coming
up.
to lunch with us. We have alarms, it's fine. But what are you working on?
I need to connect something, and I can't do. I'm not having a good time, and I don't think it's wise for me to be out in the street.
How busy is this place? I mean, if it's as crowded as the last place,
If
it would
we're
probably
going
be
to
safer
Pars
to leave him
Heath,
here.
it's gonna be
It's crowded.
Crowded, yeah.
There's people. All right, fine. You can stay here. Just
Uh,
please don't blow anything up.
I will not
And
leave.
don't steal our stuff.
There's nothing. It'll be here when you get back. I'm not stealing. You want something of mine that you can take? I don't care. I'm not.
I
me
mean,
a
I
gun.
have your bomb.
Good luck with that. Have fun.
What's a
I would
Maybe,
like
maybe
to-
don't
I would like,
encourage her, Jaeger.
I would like to bow out of lunch as well and go to the academy, but
Absolutely. You definitely can if you want to.
But before we start walking around, should we decide on whether we should use our real names or continue using those fake identities? It will
Never use a
be-
real.
Well, it will probably be even more suspicious if we end up having to change them or tell somebody that we're not who we originally said.
It's
Yeah. Well, I'm
better
a
to stick
local,
with the truth.
so
That's true. People know Soren.
bit shit out of luck on that one.
Yes, Oktar, whatever last name.
We got
I don't-
Octartez, or how about you, Zorlantaron?
I'm not gonna say my name. Please don't refer to me as anything of that kind. I will not
Alright,
answer.
Zordy.
Zordy.
Sure.
Oh
Let me get you some pagers that I can call you all back with.
no! What the fuck is a pager?
What is a bomb?
It's don't even. It's awful. He
This
might
thing.
show
You
you
want
if
one?
you ask.
And it just pulls out another bomb.
I mean,
I
is,
wonder what would happen if
it, is
I
it
lit it.
dangerous?
It is. It explodes. Do you know what?
Oh no, then I don't want it in my
you
shop.
have to light it.
It's quite all right.
You
thank
can't just like you throw it and I toss
No,
it
no.
over to the corner. It doesn't explode.
No bombs
Oh, God.
in my shop, please.
God,
Thank
please.
you.
Do you want me to take them off and set them outside on the stoop?
just
No
don't.
bombs in the city unless we
I'm-
are being attacked by something that deserves
going
bombs.
outside.
I have 23 of
Thank you.
them on my person. I don't know
God,
what you want me
that's
to
too
do
many.
with them.
I am
Don't
going
light them,
outside.
just
We can
put
go
them
eat
somewhere where they won't explode.
We
Put it back
should
on my
wait.
bandolier.
We have guests expecting us.
Yes.
Sarah. I don't know if it's Sarah's face or Max's face. She hates it. Oh, love it. Okay. Well, Savio with the bombs being thrown and the talk of explosions is just kind of outdone. She's just missing her quiet book life and goes back outside to wait for the rest of you. So I've got Botrin that wants to go to KLA. Jaeger wants to stay at Soren's, and everyone else is going to go to the Fish and Flute with Saviel. Correct?
Sounds about right.
Okay. So with that, we will take a quick 10-minute break and we'll be back soon. So thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys for the second half.
Ow.
That's what we got to come back with, was everybody going, and then Sarah apparently breaking her kneecap on the desk.
Ow. Ow, my wrist.
No,
Oh.
You
Welcome
need
back,
those for
everybody.
note writing.
Okay. So,
So true, bestie.
so true. Yes. So you guys have to head back to, let's go to our district screen. So coming from the ridge over by Nate's house, or sorry, Soren's house, not Nate's house. Nate's house is in Cyorion.
No, it's my house.
My house now, bitch. You guys have a little bit of a walk, but not too bad.
Just a little bit of a walk. It's fine.
Heading over to.
Oh no, those gummies worked in reverse.
They just transfer to the nearest person.
Oh no, go that way. Yeah, really.
That's what she
it
meant
is-
by them going stale.
The effects working
No.
on other people now.
No, we alter. Oh no.
Everybody talks like. So really, you guys just need to head south along this direction, down this road, which will exit in Pars Heath north.
Okay.
So if you guys remember how to do that, just drag your character over next to the big green book to exit navigation.
Where am I? There I am.
There goes everybody running. And then when you head to Pars Heath north,
And we're huge.
yeah, right now you're in navigation, then you are huge. But then you'll just be able to say, I want to go to Pars Heath north. And then it'll take you over there.
I'm small again.
I am stuck on 99% loaded.
Yeah, I have to reload too.
Vacant. Oh, that's where Marfello was.
You guys are coming in from. I'll get you dropped over there.
Yeah. I just had
I
to
don't
reload.
know where I am. I should be here, but I'm not.
I can take care of that for you guys. Don't you worry. I'm getting some characters moved.
Yeah, the map just isn't refreshing when you zoom out for me.
All good. I'll help get you guys moved around.
There we go.
Dragging all these people over here.
Did I leave that like giant black line there? What is that?
That's me. That was my measurement device, and I did not
Oh, okay.
properly block it off from all the visibilities.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I didn't just leave that there. I was like, what the fuck?
Nope, that was me messing it up, trying to make. As I had to find a standard unit of measurement, and
Right.
it was the central building in the bastion, and then I needed to
cool.
make sure it's scaled properly on each map, and then that's what I would, when I would load up a new map, I would grab the measuring tool, and I would measure that to make sure it was 780 feet.
That's cool. That's
And
very
then
smart.
then I knew that it was properly scaled in the system. I can get it all set. All right. Getting you guys moved up here.
Fine.
Here, and then move. Sorry, Maximilian Jaeger.
I'm coming. I have little legs.
I was dragging it and you dragged it too, and I was like, why did she reset back to the middle of the map? There we go. All right, so after coming out of the ridge, you guys make your way into Pars Heath, which is a little less nice. Oh, the reason you can see the line is because I turned off token vision. That's right. I had walls put in place so you guys couldn't see the lines, but it was easier to turn off token vision. You can actually do this. Turn token vision on
It's
with no
Still
fog
not
exploration.
updating for me, Ben.
Oh,
I
I
just
miss.
Oh,
It says circle now.
there we go.
You may need to reconnect because I have
Yeah,
you in
I
the
think I
right
might
spot,
have to.
and then I'll get you pulled to the scene.
Yeah, let me see. I just reloaded again.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I got it. Yep, it's all
Perfect.
good. It reloaded.
And then Sarah promptly runs off of the scene. I'm out of here.
I'm curious. What can I say?
I don't have walls everywhere. Stop. You're making everything difficult. Now I have to add this
sorry.
wall.
I'm sorry, you don't have to. I'll be good.
Nope. It's done now. Anywho, so you guys make your way to Pars Heath, which is what would amount to the less fortunate district. This is a place where houses are. The ridge was nice. Houses were moderately spaced. There was, a little bit nicer places. There was some decor on the outsides. As you come to Pars Heath, this is all crammed together. The houses are much more thin townhomes that are overfilled beyond capacity. A lot of the places you see as you start making your way through the streets here, which you guys are heading just kind of down that alley in front of you, making your way down here to a wall that I accidentally dropped because I had the wall tool selected still. Derp. Here we go. All bad.
As we're walking along, Ben, Tarak is also going to look for anything that looks suspicious. Perhaps not nearly with the same level of paranoia as Jaeger, but just to see if we may be being followed or anything like that.
Definitely not being
Slight approval.
followed, but as you're investigating, the first thing that you note, I brought Botron here and Jaeger here so they could see, but you guys are not here. That's right. The first thing you guys kind of notice as you cross the street is you spot the street where, if you're investigating Tarak, you've got a decent enough memory for this stuff. You see the street that you guys were across from as you came in to Morfella's Traveling Goods, and were in Busat last time you were here.
Okay.
So,
Is so the house is still there?
there is a building there, but there's a sign hanging on it if you guys head down that street.
Okay, yeah. Tarak is gonna go to Hellstone. Well, this looks familiar, and he's gonna go and check out the sign to see what it says.
There's a stack of one sheets available, little realtor's shop, and there's a picture of a gnome going like this, trying to entice people to come take a look at it. The one sheet basically says the previous tenant left in a hurry. It's a great property available to a savvy investor or a craftsman looking to start their own shop, and it describes a little 3-room place that's available for purchase. And that if you were interested, that you should stop at the Realtors Guild and talk to the Pars Heath district manager.
So Tarak kind of just looks at it. He goes, well, I've always been wondering what happens to the place when, when he leaves or when he moves somewhere else. I guess what happens to it when this place is occupied when he tries to or decides to move in?
I just assumed he ate it,
I hope not.
but I suppose not.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at that flyer.
You scare me every time you open your mouth.
Oh, give me that thing, will you?
Doran sounds like Gaston now. Give me that.
I might hang on to this. You never know.
Thinking about buying a shop.
Or a house, at least.
Huh?
Pars Heath is otherwise pretty crowded. There's a lot more people just kind of sitting outside. There's shops that are popped up in front of homes, less actual shops that have goods for sale in them. The few places that you see that are available sell close to the poorer quality of goods, a lot of the basics. Really more general stores, cloth salesmen, people who sell like basic clothing, household goods. There's not a lot available in Pars Heath, and Soren, you know that this is where a lot of like the workers who go out and do like yearly work on the farms outside of town, as well as dock workers and laborers and stuff, they'll live in Pars Heath.
Okay.
But you guys can make your way down through the streets, eventually to the Fish and Flute, a little shop that you know that's across from the ridge, not too far, was within walking distance, and has some decent house beer, and a house wine that's pretty good. Their food's always been like bar food type stuff, you know. There's some fried things. There's a couple goblin cooks in there that do a really good job with deep frying just whatever. It's always a spectacle listening to them because they have a big vat of oil back there, and they always get excited when water hits it and it starts to crackle and pop everywhere. Otherwise, there is a half orc that works there with them and kind of keeps a couple other things on the menu and makes sure that the alcohol comes in. But a lot of people come in for the fried bar type food, and it's no different this afternoon. It gets decently busy in there because it's cheap. You can get deep fried onions for a silver, and deep fried potato wedges for a silver, and there are a huge platter of them, enough to serve 3 or 4 people. So people will come in and pile their copper together and get a whole pile of fried potato wedges and fried onions, and then just start to go to town on their local beer. It costs like 2 copper for a pint. But when you guys come in, let's go with somebody else describing something else in here. They've given you a basic description. Sarah, what's the first thing you notice about the Fish and Flute when you come into it?
Oh, well, that would probably be the small band of goblins that are kind of on a floating platform. It's not like actually floating, it's hung up by chains, but it looks like they're on this little like water thing, and there's like 3 goblin musicians with their flutes that look like little fish. They're playing on them, and people seem to be like, as they're up there, people are trying to like toss their like tips to them, but they have to like, it's difficult, and it's almost like a game to try and get it on the platform. And so there's like some copper that gets scattered about as they try to flow it to these hovering musicians. I'd say that's
Amazing.
what Max first notices.
I love it.
Rad.
It's a fairly busy place as you guys come in, and pretty quickly at a large table in the back, Soren, you can spot that's a lot of like family seating, but the end of one of the family seating tables, you spot Winthera back there, K-Thera back there with Lindis, and they're just sitting back at this table chatting, and there's people on all sides of them eating and talking, but you see the 2 of them sitting there having a discussion.
Okay. Do they notice us as we come in?
No, they seem to be talking, and both of them nursing a glass of wine.
Okay. Do we see the dragons anywhere?
No, you don't see any dragons in here.
Okay, good. Just because when I sent to her earlier, she was like, "Don't touch that" or whatever. So I assumed they were scampering about. But okay, cool. So I guess head over there.
Okay. There's a few other people around them, so you might have to bug some folks to get a seat.
Would I know if it's like, are they likely to fight for their spot, or is this like oh hey, these are my friends, please move?
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could. They're likely not to like try to fight. It's not busy enough that people are like clamoring for seats. There's some open bench space next to them. You know, as you kind of approach, there's a couple tables that are side by side here. There's them kind of mixed in with this group. There's like some like preteen kids eating some of the fried potato skins. There's a couple people on the opposite side of them talking and then there's the two of them kind of in the middle, and then there's like 6 or 7 open seats on the next table over that's kind of connected to it. It's in a long table fashion. Really on that side, past the floating bar thing, there's like 3 rows of these tables they're arranged in like a 3x3 fashion that are all just kind of lined up. So you could probably go ask the people to move them down a little bit further.
Okay, cool. We'll do that.
Okay. As you're approaching,
Just,
though, you spot the elves, and then you see that the 2 older ones that are sitting with them, there's like the mother and the daughter that you know, and there's a male and a female talking to them that are elves that just seem to be wearing like common clothes, but they look like elves too. Not wood elves, but high elves, strangely enough.
Right.
And then these 2 definitely look out of place being high elves in Pars Heath. They've dressed
Right,
in their clothes that they've been wearing for a while, but they still stick out a little bit. But the ones next to them in very common linen clothes look really weird being common linen clothes and being high elves sitting next to them.
Just ask the kids to scooch down a little bit. Excuse me, this is our party. Don't mind.
Soren!
Hello.
The kids say to you.
We made it.
The kids.
The kids.
The kids. Oh. Wait, I know these kids?
No. Athena's drinking the wine, and she's like, "Hi, good to see you. The gang's all here."
Dragons. They're the dragons.
Oh, my gods. I didn't know they learn it that fast. What is this magic?
No. And the female high elf that's in the plain clothing kind of looks up. Soren, Max, good to see you again. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Glad you're well.
We don't look like the, Friandiri and Norelth that you left, but it's good to see you. Hi.
Nice to see you
You
too.
as well.
No, we're not sure what it was exactly that kind of kept things in Oodland the way that they were, and they kind of like whisper a little bit and turn more to you guys, and they scoot to make room for the kids trying to take to the outsides. 2 of them are enamored with Saviel, and they start asking questions. They're like, "Oh, what color is your hair? Where did that come from? Why does your skin look like that? Do you shine like that normally?" And they just like start to ask her a whole bunch of stuff. And Saviel starts to answer, and as soon as you guys kind of go, "Oh, the dragons," she realizes what she's looking at and just starts talking to all the kids and gets really excited. So she kind of mixes into that group, and you guys kind of get your space between the Wintheras and the 2 of Simiposi's offspring that are a little older. They look to be like young adults, elves at this point. Yeah, we're not sure what did it, but the best we can tell, being sequestered on an island for generations causes you to lose the capability to do certain things.
Huh.
And when you're
Interesting.
with humanoids again, and you're back with elves, like, there was just the 2 of them, nothing was going on. But as soon as we came within the population and started to like see some of the people, it just kind of came back to us.
Clicked.
Yeah.
Huh.
Are you
Well-
able to transform back?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We just visit the town. The kids go to school, and we talk
Oh.
with people, and it's quite
No one's the
exciting.
wiser.
Yeah, no one knows.
Huh. Well, applaud you on your discretion and ability to blend in.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, it's mostly elf right now because this is who we spend the most time with. Norelth thought the elves were too dainty, to which Norelth just kind of goes, no. He tried to do an orc once, and it was hilarious. Tried to remember what Tarak looked like, and the only picture he could get to transform into was the monkeys that we used to capture and eat, and didn't work very well because he always thought of Tarak as,
Food.
Food, yeah.
Right.
No offense.
I
Turek.
do not. Oh, none taken. I do not have fond memories of our first encounter.
North,
I
like,
hope this one will be better.
North flashes a smile, and the teeth start to turn into dragon's teeth, and then they shifts them back.
The Thorak kind of just backs off. Easy there, easy there.
Yeah.
Not very tasty.
The
Pork
kids,
meat.
the kids love the food here, so we come and they eat fried fish and potatoes, and it's cheap because although they might not look it, they still have the stomachs of dragons.
Oh gods, I didn't even think about that.
And you see, like, one of the goblin servers comes back up with another platter, and it's like, I don't know where these kids put it every day. And there's like 6 fried fish worth of like fish sticks, and then about a dozen potatoes, and just sets them down, and the kids just start shoveling it. And then they're talking to Saviel still, like, oh, where's the hair thing? And she's like, no, chew, and then we'll talk. So
Just had the thought of, oh no, they need vegetables.
Karathina kind of just drinks the wine. It was a
Potatoes
lot.
vegetable.
It was a lot easier when they could hunt their own food in broad daylight, and I didn't have to wrangle 4 children that, if you anger, could literally bite your head off.
Yeah. I do not envy you your position, I'm going to be honest.
Fernandira goes, they would never. You know that. Oh,
I mean, they almost... Oh, no.
well, Soren, you know that they would lose it should they ever attack, but... what can we do for you all now that you're in Busad? We've mostly just been trying to get by and find work. Lindis is like scoots up next to Max. They have a whole stable here that I get to work at.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really fun.
What sort of animals do they have?
We've got elephants that there's some wild ones still that they brought in. And then there's the cats that they want to release back up in Oodland. There's like, they're in Geet. There's these like mountain cats that we're having a hard time hunting up there, but they want to release those. So they got a whole shipment of those, and I've got all the horses, and she just starts listing about 36 species of animals that she's working with.
Wow. Max just sounds very impressed about her animal wrangling skills as Sarah looks for questions we had for the dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Norl says that you all kind of lost the trail, and then somebody else picked her up, the person you were chasing that day.
Oh, yeah. My
Well,
sister.
You sound different. Did you get the gummies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a
those-
little hiccup coming into port.
Yeah, that'll happen.
so I think the last place we had our trail was essentially they are somewhere in this city working to some end.
Well, we
It's not a lot to go on.
we did have the opportunity to meet with a friend. Busat government. So we spoke briefly with Commissioner Pellick, who's from the
That's nice.
Silk Grove. I was familiar because it was in a what you don't see moment.
That would be why.
So we spoke with Commissioner Pellick and assured her that we were keeping them safe, and we knew that she was from Geet originally and was an escapee, much like Thorin, but was somebody who was able to position themselves in a place where the fangs of Kirmi wouldn't strike, and put themselves into a public position of power in a place that nobody would think to attack them.
Are you sure the commissioner who you talked to is who she says she is?
Oh yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Pellick is a trusted ally. Pelek was institutional in helping us find means for income, and we have some caves outside of the city that are mostly safe, but we haven't been back in a couple weeks just because once the children were able to control this, we just found a big enough place with a big basement so they could change back and stretch their wings, and Friondiri and Norelth will go out and hunt at night. But
And does the commissioner know the truth about the children?
oh yes, that's why we came to Commissioner Pelek.
Right.
It was someone that
So
Simoposi
you
said we could
actually-
trust.
Okay, so you actually told them.
All right, good.
We have allies, not many, but we
Does-
have some.
Does Commissioner Pelek wear gloves?
No,
Okay.
not that I've seen. Why? Are gloves faux pas, or I know I've been out of touch with the world for a spell, but
There's a group of people that aren't very nice that always wear black silk gloves. So just be on the lookout. If those people, say that they're trying to help you, just know that they probably aren't, and they're looking to use you for any magic that you may have.
It should bear clarifying that obviously not everyone who wears black gloves is, evil, but
Black
there is a
silk
group of people.
gloves.
Black silk gloves, yes, of
You-
course.
I know I've been out of fashion for some time, but my understanding is next week, on Elion, when we move into the month of Felok, once the Blind Night comes around again, that it becomes fashionable to wear black soft gloves in the cold month.
That's gonna make our job a lot harder.
The job's hard enough already.
that-
I don't like that.
Is that tradition everywhere?
It's a fairly common tradition, like not for the desert. For Ashahoya, it doesn't get
Okay.
as cold during the day, but in Busat, where you're starting to get north a little bit and you're actually out further, it gets colder. So yeah, a lot of people
Oh.
like to wear black gloves after the day of she called it the Blind Night. She would know that, yeah. I think people call it the Feast of the Bright Star these days, but it happens twice a year.
So how many days away is that?
Like
That
6
is
something?
8 and 11 days.
11 days?
11?
11 days, yep.
11 days!
You're at the beginning of the week right now, and it's next week on the 5th day.
All right, well, that doesn't make anything easier for us, but all the same, something to look out for.
Savio kind of like, at this point, sits down and scooches you a little bit, Soren. Those kids have energy. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Hi, nice to meet you
Yeah.
all. And she
These ones too.
introduces, and you nod to those two. Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's interesting. How many dragons do you know, Soren?
Like, well, or are friends with, or just, like, have
I
had
know-
an acquaintance with?
That I know of or know personally.
Know that
So
you
I don't
know
think Katala
personally.
counts. All right, so we've got
Does
these plus one
Brundoinum
more.
count?
Yes, Brundoinum counts.
Oh, what about the one that we
Did
were
you
kind
say
of in the tris-
Brundoinum out loud?
Quietly, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so immediately Friondiri and Noril kind of look at each other and go, excuse me?
Can I insight check the tone?
Yeah, sure.
Like, are they angry or are they curious? So that's a 5, but I get to treat it as an 8, so 18.
Ridiculous. With the tone of that is more, are you fucking like my friend met Lady Gaga, and I'm her
Okay.
biggest fan. They're both just like, what?
Yeah. I mean, she's.
We ate in her house, man.
I mean, she's really cool and really nice. I got the little web thing from her.
She and Bartran were great friends.
What do
Oh
you?
yeah,
Who?
Bartran, you
Bartran.
know Bartran, right?
they're not here.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
The long black
Okay,
hair.
hold on.
The spooky one with the little ghost child.
No. Okay, then this is Freondary, the female, is just like you hung out with the
Wouldn't say that.
aspect
Well,
of time.
For an
Spent a-
afternoon.
Batron lived with her for like 30
2
years.
afternoons
What?
if you want to be technical about it.
And then like the
Oh yeah.
restaurant gets quiet for a moment. Sorry. My throat, it was a thing. What?
And a few of us have been blessed by Brundoinum.
Oh yes.
What does that even mean?
Show on my hand.
Like just grabs it and starts to look at it, and you see
Oh, God.
the eyes, the strength is there, even changed in this
Looks
form.
at his hands and he's like,
Even
As I'm like pulled over the table. Don't worry, it'll happen. I think.
even in this like changed form, this is a dragon still.
Yeah.
The strength,
Yeah.
like your arm just about comes out of its socket for a moment there as the ligament pulls a little bit further than it should have in the elbow. Yeah, that hyperextension happens and you kind of feel a little pop. Mostly excitement. And then you see
Oh.
you see an unsettling sight as the eyes shift from the elven
Dragon
eyes
form.
to dragon, and it reminds you of Diggin. Briefly, as the eyes like start to inspect this deeply. Can I? Oof. Okay, I can't take your hand with me. So where can we go so I can look at this longer?
I'm
We go back to the Arcanery.
We can go back to my workshop or wherever you are staying.
Sorry, and she just like waves a hand and casts Cure Wounds on your arm.
Oh, thank you. Ow.
It all just kind of snaps back in place. Where's a wooden pencil? So next time I make that noise, I can just crack a wooden pencil.
Oh,
Whoa. Downvote.
Yeah, where's the thing?
no! Just get an empty water bottle and shove it under your shirt.
So
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
love it. Okay, that's a lot. Okay.
There are many irons in many fires right now.
No.
And we don't have enough hands.
Cool. Okay. Okay. So thank you for your help. We're best friends now. Just need to make sure that that's established. We're going to be talking
Sure.
a lot.
All right.
Where exactly are you staying? And she like pulls out a small map of Busat. Just exactly where.
About half a mile away. Yeah.
Pointed out on the map. Cool. We're stopping in later at some point, and you just, if you don't mind, there's a lot
All
to
right.
figure out here.
Understatement. Yeah.
Okay.
Be wary, there are magical alarms, but there are no traps or anything of that sort.
That's fine. Okay. What can we help you with? Because you've kind of blown. Even Norelth for a moment there was just kind of like impressed. This dragon that almost killed you, and then begrudgingly helped you chase down who did probably kill his father, and is now the sole leader of this family of gold dragons trying to figure out their way in the world. Was actually impressed with you for a moment.
Oh my god.
Senpai
noticed us.
Cool. Yeah.
Fangirling.
Well, it's not exactly the place to discuss here, but there are a lot, as Doran said, irons in the fire.
So should we stop by just sometime later when it's not so busy?
It's just later this evening, yes.
Okay. Well, we'll
Can give you the full rundown on what it is we know and what hopefully you can help us with.
sure. Yeah. Well, we'll come by after we take the children out after the veil.
All right.
Because I mean they still need lessons and still need practice, and we usually get them out after dusk, and then we'll come by late this evening.
Lovely.
Do the children stay by themselves, or do you have somebody who?
No, they'll
helps
go
take
back.
care of-
You can see the defeat wash over Kareth in his face. He goes, "No, that's my job. You know, Lindis has applicable skills. Nobody gave a damn about, you know, blade singing when I came into town and tried to set up shop, and everybody said it was a dead art, and so I'm stuck with the kid. I mean, I'm taking care of these lovely children full time.
If it makes you feel better, I would have cared a lot had this been 20 years ago.
Thank you. But they are my duty after nightfall, so I'm gonna get a nap in while they go do their thing with their brother and sister, their older brother and sister, and then I'll be taking care of them this evening. None of you have ever known an elf to nap, but this one looks like she damn well needs one.
It needs a nap. The race that doesn't sleep is like, I'm going to go take a nap.
Whatever it is, meditative session, she is clearly exhausted. Okay, well, yeah. Norelth usually patrols around the city. He feels like he's still watching out for something, and he goes, and just kind of grunts. But
Good instinct.
I will be back to see you this evening.
Excellent.
All right. Well, in that case, send Botchard my regards.
Oh. I'm sure you'll see them later. At least I think. Unless they
I'm
disappear
sure.
after the university and never come back, which, couldn't blame them.
It's a possibility, especially for Botchard here. There's a lot of books there. Not many, as if he spent 30 years with Brindornum. I hear that library is legendary.
Indeed.
I have read them all.
Cover to cover.
With that, we will have our camera shift over to where Botchard hang out. If the rest of you would like to use the nav feature, you can. You don't have to, but I will just activate it since there's no token vision, and you can see where Botchard's hanging out here in just a moment. I stole you over to the scene. Remember, you can always move it around as you see fit. But Botchard, coming in from where Soren was, probably kind of getting oriented to a direction. Go that way. When you see a lot of campus and greenery, and big towers, you found the place. You get slightly distracted for a moment looking down the hill at this monstrosity. This very, very large white cathedral. And you think that might be the place, but then your vision pans slightly east to see the Kizarvexis Luminary Academy. This massive wizard academy located in Busat. Legendary even in your time, back on Cyorion Botchard. It boasts 9 major and countless minor wizards guilds dedicated to all specialties of the arcane. This academy brings people in from all over the world, and all governments have agreements with the Kizarvexis Luminary Academy. They will train anybody's defense forces and soldiers in basic wizardry and cantrips. If you have the talent for it, they will instruct people on very low level wizardry, and teach you things like most militaries have standing logistics wizards whose jobs are to move things and mage hand shit from here to there, because it's easier for one wizard to use mage hand that's a special version of mage hand than he's specialized in for 20 years than it is to have a bunch of people just haul shit back and forth. And these specialists train here. The rest of it is dedicated to arcane research and improving the lives of people all over the world. They have trade agreements and contracts with the cities of Ashahoya to help them to maintain these massive walking cities. They've relied on the magical teachings and studies of the Academy for years. There is the massive spire with its giant telescope of the Astrakiran, a place that looks up to the stars in the heavens and asks questions of what we're all doing here. But even though a lot of people think that they're crackpots, they boast one of the largest guilds in the Academy. But you're greeted with a very, very large sprawling campus, a lot of people going back and forth, working or studying, some people just touring the grounds and looking, because it's one of the few places in the city with massive amounts of greenery. Helps when you have an army of wizards to keep it nice and clean and trimmed.
So basically, I'm going to ask around, asking various people where I can find an expert on the properties and uses of crystals and gems.
They're making so I'm going to have you make an investigation check. And this is going to be your ability to kind of get around and talk to people and see what you can figure out.
Just a normal or disadvantage?
No, just normal. It's fine.
So what, 16? I'm just trying to find a specific somebody who might be very well versed in the imbuing of crystals or gems with mystical properties, and if those properties can either leach into the surrounding area or surrounding substances. If they're placed into substances, if it leaches those properties into those substances, will it be negative in any way, or what sort of possible evil might come of either by intention or by accident having that magic or that enchantment leach into somebody's like flesh or nervous system. That's the kind of stuff I'm trying to find out about.
Eventually, you get, oops, the wrong button. Dev mode on my Chrome instance. Eventually, you get oriented to a place called the Kazkin Hall of Lower Studies. Takes you an hour or so of asking around, trying to find. Some of my notes aren't permission viewed, so you guys won't be able to see those. Give me a moment. There we go. So many notes. I need to make sure that you guys can see them all. So eventually, after you spend some time moving around what equates to the quad in this place, but this central area, asking people as they're passing through, you get oriented to this large U-shaped building at the southwestern corner of the campus. And this is the Kazkin Hall of Lower Studies. And this is one of the many halls in the campus that has smaller guilds that basically need a room or two, and that's all they need for the whole guild. Someone lets you know that if you go there, up to the second floor on the east wing, you'll find a group called the Miartrin group. And that's Miartrin, and I'll put it in chat for you guys so you can see it. That's going to be in game chat, not in Discord, just so you guys are aware.
Oh.
And let you know that's it's run by this old dwarf wizard, but they study gems and could probably help you.
Okay, so I do my best to try to ingratiate them with like small talk or whatever, and because I don't want to show them what I have right away. I just want to sort of see if I can't draw the information out of them, get them interested enough to want to discuss this kind of thing with me, because I don't know if they consider this to be sort of like sacred knowledge, or if you're not initiated, you can't participate in this kind of thing. So
Sure. So if you head on up there, you head to the second floor of the east wing, and there's a sign on the hall, like as you're coming in, and there's like a cluster of gems and a little boulder, like a geode on the other side of it, that kind of flank the words the Miartrin group that leads down this entirety of the second floor of the east wing. This one, like coming into the first floor, you can see a bunch of these small signs hanging outside of rooms on the first floor. Like a guild of 2 or 3 people registered and has that one room. On the second floor here, the Miartrin group actually has this whole second floor east wing. So they've got, about 8 rooms or larger rooms put together. There's probably a dozen people here moving about, working. The students tend to wear like longer flowing robes as an indication that they are studying here. And there's 6 or 7 students working in this area. And then there's other people dressed in more casual clothes that are clearly guild members or people who work for the school, kind of moving around working up here. You were told it was a dwarf that you were looking for that runs the guild. And you kind of got to move through people, but you can start peeking in the windows of these different rooms. And you can see in the first one, there's a couple of young wizards that are working in robes. Basically running a bunch of rock tumblers with magic, and they're maintaining these machines and keeping magic energy into this central thing that's running all these centrifuges for these rock tumblers, trying to clean them up and present them a little bit nicer. 2 of them work in this entire room. There's a dull roar coming through the doorway that you can, even at first glance, see that's got a bunch of arcane sigils on it to keep the noise down. You don't see a dwarf in that room. The second room, there's a little bit more in terms of like almost laboratory equipment. It's not a sterile environment by any means, but it's like older big wood tables. There's magical lights floating in the air that catch you off guard briefly, that look like the witch lights kind of floating, but they're just these enchanted lanterns shining bright light down where these people are studying all of these rocks laid out. In this room, there are 5 individuals. 2 of them are male dwarfs. Both of them in casual clothes.
okay, I knock on the door and then open up and stick my head in.
One of the students it's nearby, turns and looks as you come in, goes, "We lost? Can we help you find something?"
Yes, I was hoping I could speak to the head of your group.
The Guildmaster, Flintgrip.
Yes.
Well, he's usually doesn't take anybody without appointment. Is there anything that I can help you with?
Possibly. I'm very interested in. I have a friend who is in. I wouldn't say distress, but they may be in a situation that might be detrimental to them in the long run.
Well, we have
hoping...
counselors on staff if you need to talk to somebody. There's there's doctors that can help out. We have medical professionals and clerics on staff if there's more spiritual or magical healing that you need.
Well, I thought your group might be more interested in someone who might have had a gem embedded in their skin and might be causing some sort of illness.
Embedded in the, like someone put it there, like as a punishment?
Possibly.
I mean, some people have made the mistake of putting sorcerer's muse directly into their bodies, thinking that the raw crystal would help them, but it's done nothing but damage their skin and break bones and tear muscles.
This is why I wanted to talk to somebody who might have some expertise in this field.
Is your friend ill? Is he showing signs of enhanced abilities or anything that would make you think that it's a special case other than some idiot jamming himself with a crystal?
I'm not really sure if I'm willing to elaborate on that any further at this point in time until I get a little bit more information.
I'm sorry, but without that type of information, we wouldn't know if it's more than a hoax of somebody claiming some special, some sideshow attraction, or I'm not sure that, you know.
Well, let's just say that this person has been displaying a lot of paranoid aggression, perhaps.
Well, you know, if he's willing to embed a crystal deep into his arms or legs or body in other places, I'm sure that he's got a lot of issues. Paranoid aggression, the least among them.
Do you know what type of would be the worst type of crystal that could?
Any. Why would you jam a rock into your body? Crystals must be enchanted to contain power. And if one was to enchant it with something and then put it into themselves, like, the worst that would happen is they would, you know, there would likely be an infection and some sort of damage to the surrounding tissue, but they would be able to have direct access to cast a spell if it was enchanted into the crystal. I don't know. There's iron stones as well that enhance wizards' abilities, but they're very rare and people wouldn't implant those into their body.
And you here in this group, you have experience with all known crystals, all sorts of known gems.
Well, yes, of course. We're considered the Miarchun group works with, you know, the dwarves of Kamtharum all the way up through the mining companies and Geats and beyond, and we have access to all minerals in Cyorion.
Would you be able to identify a crystal?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I mean, maybe not me personally. I'm still a junior member of the guild, but one of our anybody would be able to identify it. Any of the masters, for sure. You certainly don't need to bother Grandmaster Flintgrip with this.
Well, we'll see. Who should I speak to about identification?
No, you can start with me, and if I could identify it, you can be on your way.
All right. And I take out the little cloth that I have it wrapped in, and I show him the crystal in my palm.
He gets very confused, visibly, for quite a time. And then, can you put that on the table over here, please?
I'll keep it with me.
Okay, then just hold your hand under the light. And he gets these glasses and puts them on, and it's this massive contraption that's got 9 lenses coming off the sides of it, all of various colors, and starts to click them down into place and look through them. And it's just like, by God, it's got everything. It is amazing. Where did you find this?
No, I'm not at liberty to say right now. I'm just trying to find out information.
I have no idea what this is. Just give me just a moment. And he puts the glasses down, runs to the other side of the room, and starts talking to the 2 dwarfs. They first don't seem to be able to be bothered by this lowly individual. And after a moment, they both kind of perk up and look back and quizzically look at each other and then look back over at you. And then you can see them asking various questions. And then the larger bearded of the 2 goes, "What? All of them?" And immediately sets everything he was working on down and storms over and he reaches out to grab your arm and take a look at this crystal.
I pull my arm out of his way.
I'm not going to take it. Just put your arm down here where I can see. I'm a whole foot and a half shorter than the last one.
So I open my palm so he can see it under the light.
Did you collect this?
In a manner of speaking.
This is very dangerous. You shouldn't be dealing with these.
Which is what I was asking the apprentice about.
The apprentice knows nothing about this. He's a fool and a moron. Don't talk to him. You'll talk to me. You see the young junior associate in the back just kind of shrink a little bit. Like,
Oh.
I have decades of experience on him before he was even, a glint in his father's eye.
Well, I ask, does this particular crystal have any natural properties in it, or has it been enchanted with any sort of arcane properties?
This crystal is arcane properties. It's hard to explain. When you make a beverage, when you make beer is still water. Water is the vessel that carries all of these things. This crystal, as far as we've been able to tell, now this is very important. Did you find it? Did you harvest it in Cyorion, and where?
No. This came from outside of Cyorion.
This come from Kosoba?
That is correct.
I've heard rumors of that place. Now, how much do I need to pay you to find out how to travel there myself?
I don't think there's any amount of money you could give me. I really don't have any sort of directions for you. I was there for quite some time and made my way back. And
you brought this with you? We've
not
seen this in one other place, and that's
one other place. Where?
In Gware, the site of the destruction of Gware. These crystals started cropping up out of the ground and growing all over the site. The trees have died beyond the outskirts of the city, and this is all that remains near the heart of the city.
Are these stones evil of a sort, or
no? They are conduits of pure mana, pure magical essence. As I said, you infuse things into water to make beer. But at the core of it, it is still beer. You infuse things into mana, into the weave of magic to create spells. Something carries those. This is pure that.
That's the good shit, baby.
Interesting.
Now, the more important question, if you're bringing it here today, I don't think I have a sum of money willing to get you to part with this, but a donation to science and to the understanding of the arcane that ties all of us together would be greatly appreciated. You would most definitely have a name erected upon the wall as an honorary member of the Miratrine group in Edfinium. We've lost researchers trying to gather these crystals. They're very dangerous.
Wow.
To gather them, once you've gathered them safely, you can do amazing things with them.
I have a few other avenues I need to check first, but if I do end up parting with it, I will definitely keep your group in mind.
What did you say your name was?
Delaware SF.
Delaware SF. I won't forget it. And anytime. No, fuck these low timers. You come speak to me, Grandmaster Flintgrip. Kirguk, you can call me. Please. You see me. Kirguk is fine. Please. As far as I'm concerned, you come talk to me anytime you like.
I will do so, sir.
And your friend, should this conduit of pure magical energy cause him any more discomfort, he can come see me too.
I will make him aware. And I take my leave.
He kind of stands behind you, just in awe of what happened. The things that you've said to him are very interesting.
We're making impressions all over.
And I make my way downstairs and out into the greenery of the campus, and
you get you can make your way back towards Soren's arcanery, but wandering around, you do spot out the western gate. Interesting little coffee shop, that's got a couple of cartoonish looking beats. Enjoying a book. It's called Study Beats.
Beats.
Yeah, you can see Gilla's other shop here in town.
I make my way over there.
Sure. A lot like the Naja and Ben shop. There's exterior seating, parasols over the tables here, it provides shade. But since you're trained in the arcane, you can tell as you kind of show up, these ones are enchanted slightly differently. All the people, the books kind of flutter a little bit as they're sitting underneath them. These ones provide cooler temperatures and a light breeze instead of protection from the elements and rain. Sign outside has the two red beets, like these very adorable, expressive, cartoonish beets fawning over an open book, and there's a cup of coffee next to each of them. Inside, as you go into this one, the downstairs is kind of a book floor with marked prices on the books, but you can hear people moving around in the upper 2 floors. You can see this is a 3-story building. But the downstairs is definitely like a bookstore. There's labeled sections. There's not like a coffee shop or anything down here, but you can smell coffee and pastries in this place.
Okay. I go to the counter and I order a latte or something to drink, and I mentally communicate with Spackle to keep an eye out to see if maybe if anybody from the academy might be following us or
Sure,
checking in us or whatever. So
you head upstairs to the second level where you can smell the coffee's coming from, but you get up there and this area's got tons of little study nooks. Just glancing around, you can see they're all enchanted in slightly different ways. That there's some of them have these overstuffed beanbag chairs with a window outside that's open to the city. Other ones, someone looks like they're hanging from a hammock, and glancing past the sheer kind of curtain, you can see that they're sitting there reading a book. There's a little table next to them, but it looks like they're swinging out in the jungle. So they've all got these tiny little study and reading nooks that can be used by almost expressly on these levels students. You can see them all in there, and a couple of them come up and order coffee, which they pay for. But it looks like all the books up here are more academically organized so that people can grab books and study. And they do ask you if you're a student when you come in, and
no.
Okay. So all right. So yeah, we'll absolutely get you whatever you need. If you want to use any of the study rooms up here, though, if you want to check out one of the books, we'll need you to register with us first, because this rooms are mostly for people that are studying, and these books, they can't just be bought. The ones downstairs are the ones that can be bought. This place is more for people who want to read and study while they're here. So yeah, just give me some of your information. We need your name, and then the room that you're assigned to, and then any books you need to actually come check with me before you go borrow them, because we need to make sure that they get back. Just because the students we can all track down, they're super easy to get to. Oh, thanks, bud. Here's your latte. If I can get you a book or anything, just let me know.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks, man.
So I give them my information and register with them or whatever, and then find a little nook out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, they get you all set up. You find an interesting book on whatever it is you're looking for. But there's there are 2 stories of these books and reading nooks.
What I would like to do is I would like to get into the nook and have Spackle sort of stand guard while I commune with my patron.
Sure. As you're getting ready, Spackle kind of comes up through the floor, and she goes, points down below, and you look over. The one that was referred to as dumb and lesser and stupid is sheepishly trying to trail you and try to help out the boss, I guess, and impress him, but he's doing a very poor job of trying to blend in downstairs, and keeps looking up to see if you're there.
Well, I instruct Spackle to do her best to scare him away.
Spackle proceeds to, as he's flipping open some book, be waiting on the next page as he's like pretending to read it, just like, and then as he looks down, this dead body kind of floats out of the book and he screams and runs out of the shop.
Awesome.
And then she'll stand guard and allow you time to commune with your patron. And if you have a lot of questions, depends on how long you want to stay in here.
Right. I'm probably gonna have to come up with those questions before we do anything like that.
So we will leave Botrin at Study Beats in a spot with us. Botrin at Study Beats in a spot kind of guarded and observed a bit by Spackle, and we'll head back to Soren's Arcanery, where the rest of you guys are getting back after an interesting lunch and a lot of questions and some interesting news. Are you guys heading right back to the Arcanery with Saviel, or is she going back to... You think she'd want to head back to work about this time?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I mean, if you were wanting to talk to her more, otherwise she's going to be like, I'm stopping back off to work. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, no, I would let her go
Okay.
focus on projects and whatever.
She says it was nice to see everybody again. And then as you guys are kind of rounding the corner, she ducks back into the shop to reopen it for business. And the rest of you come back into Soren's Arcanery, where Jaeger, what's going on there? Because they've been gone for like an hour at lunch.
Perfect. That was going to be my first question, is how long were they gone for? Because I took a short rest. Basically, as they left, I took a short rest and took out everything from my bag, and I mean everything. During that short rest, I reconfigured all of my crystals, and I cast Unseen Servant 5 times.
Okay.
So in that time, before I left, it's not concentration, and I use crystals, so it's a little different.
Yep.
So each crystal, I'll describe that a little bit in flavor. Each crystal, kind of, I'll put them all out in my hand, and they just apparate into these beings of just energy, and each one kind of floats in its body and is just doing its own thing. So for the next hour, I have 5 different servants at my beck and call, doing exactly what I'm going to tell them in just a moment. But before Jaeger left on this adventure to where he met the party in a very strange balanced place where he got stuck again, he had a conspiracy board of just about everything that he had connected, because he had a base of operations in a random hut randomly in the Ashohoyan Desert. So he's going to recreate that here in Soren's Arcanery. And
Charlie Day, right?
The hour is going to be every unseen servant is going to be put that there, put this here, grab that, put that there, and I'm just going to be chain smoking my month's worth of cigarettes as quickly as possible. So I'll get through quite a bit of it. I don't know how healthy it is. I'll stop eventually, but it's nonstop. They burn out. I don't smoke them. I burn myself on a couple of them. It's a madhouse. But essentially it is tearing apart my journals, all of the evidence that I had, all of the connections, and I'm making new connections, and it's just this terrible conspiracy board that I'm using the 50 feet of rope and tearing that into threads as much as I can, and it's just connecting dots and locations and places, and I'm using the entire wall to do so.
Exactly. Charlie Day.
So, what you
an
guys
hour of
both
that.
dig into? It's been an hour with 6 people working on this conspiracy board.
It's just smoke.
You get to the door and it looks like it might be on fire.
I immediately start looking for where the source of the fire is.
There's just a pile of cigarette ends and ash. And then through the you guys had swept it so clean, and now there's, an hour worth of chain smoked cigarettes, ash, and then a little trail that's worn in front of it where it's clear because someone's been walking back and forth, and you can see him with the cigarette just walking back and forth and just telling these little beams of energy what to do.
I'm not going to ask what. I just want to know why.
Oh, hold on. Almost done. And I'll just like finish the last connection, which is just haphazardly a Busat just written on a page.
The
Oh my
rock
god, he's gone
There.
insane.
steps up to the wall and is just kind of trying to take it in. So, Jaeger, can you tell us what we see on this wall that you've been
Yeah.
working on for the last
Does-
hour?
Is any of this intelligible to anyone other than
Yeah.
you?
I mean, it doesn't make sense probably at first glance because there's no map. If there was a map, I would say if anyone can like vaguely understand how the world is laid out from a map's perspective, it starts to like click because it's just location hopping and it's just a weird mess, but it's all into a plan on where like they would be in a map.
Huh.
But yeah, there's a lot of just information here.
How is it I'm the one being hunted and I'm less paranoid?
You're not the only one being hunted, but nice try.
I don't even know where to begin.
Max thaumaturgy's
Ah.
his smoking thing to go out.
You just see without any like interference, one of the unseen servants comes back and lights it and just goes back away. It just it's endless. That's its task, is to keep this thing lit. It has my wand.
Rock
And it
puts
just
a
lights
hand
it.
on Max. He's like, it is not worth it.
It smells disgusting in here.
We do have to
Yeah.
sleep in here.
Yep.
Do that outside from now on, please, and thank you.
You got it. I just bad habits. You don't want to see where I was. Sorry.
So,
Oh,
what are we
geez.
to make
Oh,
of
no.
this now? Obviously, this is a trail. Where does it lead?
Well, I've been trying to figure that out. And you just see bits of like words and things he wrote down on paper, and it's just locations. And like it starts in Littenstad, goes to Guer, goes up to Ashahoya, and then it like bounces around like 7 or 8 times. And you see Rechik, and you see some other places that are just weird names. Eventually, it all leads to Busat, where we currently are, which is tracking on a map. But it like strings out in different directions in way different paths, like, completely opposite ends. And he just goes, these, I don't know how they're connected, but they keep coming up like they are. And this is what I'm having trouble in my head connecting is Eterna. And he points up to like the top piece, and then off to like the far right. I don't know what this one is, but you guys had mentioned there's crystals somewhere else.
Indeed.
They're not
Mhm.
connected, and I can't figure that out. But, and then he goes to the bottom.
Wait,
There's,
go back.
oh, yep, okay.
Why are they not connected?
I don't know where they are.
I see.
It's
I mean-
it's an unknown instance.
What-
I would imagine it's somewhere under Guer. If
Are
they're
all of
alike.
these places locations that you have visited yourself?
Well, so yes,
Maxtoba.
for an instance, but this
Oh.
is just connecting dots in the most literal form. I can't piece together where I am going if I haven't been there. So they're just out in places. Their locations don't matter unless you're talking about the ones that I have been. Do any of you have a map?
We have the one on Botrin's arm.
Is that very
Okay.
detailed, or is that like
I mean, it's
crude?
I mean, it's like you can move it around. It's like the spell thing.
It's like GPS.
Yeah, so you could like zoom out. You have to use the two finger thing
fingers.
to
You do
zoom
the-
out.
you do the
I'm not
pinch.
good at this. I someone's got to. Can you zoom it in and out? Does his
wait,
map actually work like that? By the way.
Doesn't it?
It would if I was there, but I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
Oh, that's right, Ben.
there
He's not
it
here.
is.
He's not there.
Okay. Well, we also have the other map still that works like that, right? It just doesn't have the ley lines on it.
Yes. Correct. But that just shows where we are, doesn't it?
Yeah, but if we zoom out,
Yeah.
can't we?
I thought it didn't show land masses. I thought it just showed the blinking lights for us.
Yeah, it just shows where you guys are at.
Okay.
With the
So,
if you
don't you
enchant
have
it, you can follow where a ley line's at.
Mhm.
Okay.
Don't you have a map somewhere here in your workshop?
Sure.
You
Why-
would
why
think
not?
so?
Why not? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, you might have a
Oh.
map of the world. I don't know.
I'll go upstairs and
It's
look
not
at
something that's definitely unheard of in Busat. It's not hard to get.
Okay, yeah, I'll go upstairs and rifle through my old work desk and pull out a very dusty old fucking map of the city. And there's definitely some buildings on there that are new or
You gotta-
that aren't there anymore.
Yep,
Yeah,
you got a
the
world
world-
map too.
World, yeah.
I'll pull that out too and just kind of. Yeah, I suppose we can affix it to that.
That herb guy again. It's that herb guy. He's spying on me.
Damn it, Herb. I told you.
Soren, I'm calling to tell you that there's smoke coming out of your building now.
Damn it, not now.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny.
And
we're
that's
all-
when-
every time the
that's when
phone
you
goes off, it's
create-
Herb calling about something. He's the nosy neighbor. I love it.
I know. I got it.
Youths.
Damn it, Herb.
So yeah, the world map looks a little different than the world on World Anvil, particularly because at the edge of the map on World Anvil is where the edge is. Beyond that, a little bit beyond that, trimmed around everything else on this map, is just trimmed in white, and on the outside it's just labeled Holderima. Is the
Oh, yeah.
only difference.
Ice wall.
There is a ring of ice around the edge of the world. That's the only difference, but other than that, it's a pretty decent version of a world map.
And you question why we think the Earth is flat.
No,
That is literally a flat Earth theory.
Cyorion is
Doesn't-
totally flat.
It's tidally locked. That's how round planets work on a tidally locked world.
It's
Yeah,
a
whatever.
flat. I mean, it's like a disc, you
It's a
know?
flat disk, and the sun is 5 miles away.
Yeah.
Agreed. Anyways, Jaeger holds up the map, and it's kind of crazy how almost accurate his travel is, because it's just something that plays in his head over and over and over again. And you can clearly see that, like, south of Ashahoya, there's a place that's called Kieth, and it's like the kingdom of Keith. Kieth?
Yeah. Yep.
Kieth?
On the
And, like, in there,
southwestern-
and yeah, there's a mountain range, and it's just where it started. So Littenstad is where he's actually from, and it's in the mountains. And then you can see him go down into Kiev, and then up to the north, which is Gware, and then over to the east where elves are, but then circles back quickly and goes up to Ashahoya. And then when he gets to Ashahoya, that's when everything just like pinballs and goes crazy. And it's like it starts in an oasis and then goes into Rechik, and you can see that he's titled it Rechik. And then it goes back into the oasis, and you can see that like he's gone a couple different places, but then really it takes a turn north to Busat, and then that's where it kind of spiderwebs into different directions. So Jirok, to your point, this is where I have been and where I found certain research and certain things, and you see like notes from his journal that he just ripped out and put there, and like where he's found some of the phenomancy things and just the trails for starting the research and how it all happened. Then there's one in there that he traded some guy some things, and that's how he found out that they're magical. So in all of that mess, the endpoints are just unclear and not connected to anything.
The endpoints being Cyorion and the other place that the crystal are.
Well, yeah, where we are right
Where?
now in Busat,
Oh,
it goes to a unknown location that I haven't marked. It goes into Eterna and then Kasoba. And this unknown location is... This has been what's stumping me since I've joined you guys. Is that there's an unknown place that happened. there is the Eterna side that we're getting close to, but I have no idea how to get to. There is this weird Kosoba thing, but these creatures, we met the one who got sacrificed but brought back here. They get sacrificed to a maw.
And then pop up here.
They can and might. I don't know. There's only that one person we met. But yes, exactly. They come back here. So these are all connected. Well, we don't know how to get to them. You've been to one.
We have
That was a fluke.
walked through some sort of gateway, some sort of magical transportation. I know. Doesn't make sense, but it happened.
Speaking of which, we
I
need to
don't
talk
know
to
if we
Elric
ha-
about that.
Yeah.
We do.
But
They might know more.
have we talked to you about the ley lines?
No.
I think we said we kept you up to
I'm-
date with everything that we had done.
Yeah,
didn't we?
You-
we-
you-
Like a while ago.
But
I think you-
maybe-
Yeah.
Brought me up to speed on like where you guys have been. I don't know if it got too in depth.
To be fair, we don't know that much about the ley
Yeah.
lines.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know shit. We know we,
Yeah,
so
so
we have some sort
maybe.
of magic
Yeah.
ritual that lets
Yeah.
us find them, but we need like dragon blood. So
Yeah, which is something we're going to be asking the dragons about. I have a list of everything we need to ask the dragons.
I love you.
We have dragon blood.
We need ancient dragon blood.
Yeah, it has to be specifically ancient, and we need other people who can also cast that ritual, which is at the moment I think you, me, and Patron.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Got it. Well, this is everything, and I mean everything that I've come across. And you can see his bag is just turned inside out. My research has been limited, but I've found some things, I guess, that put me on this path. And by this path, I mean shoving these crystals in my arm and all of that. So, I guess if this is going to be a place that we stay for a bit, it's all yours.
Well, maybe the dragons will have some answers when they arrive.
God, that's weird.
It's terrible.
You're going to love them. I'm going to take out my spell book and just kind of flip to the very back pages where I take notes on stuff. Just kind of sit and try and take it all in for a little while. See if anything makes sense to me.
You spelled that wrong, Jaeger.
Thanks.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's busy staring,
Yeah.
and then in the background,
Tarak is,
you go ahead.
yeah, he's going to look at the part around Eterna, see if there are any notes or anything like that that Jaeger may have ripped out that describe more about what he might know about it.
There's not a ton on Eterna, I don't think.
Yeah, I was gonna say for Eterna, it's incredibly limited. It's just what we've encountered together.
Yeah.
That's a very, very new piece in this puzzle, but it's scribbled in. Nothing like leading. It's just like a note that just brings that memory back to him. So it's really, really madman created.
So you guys continue to all sit and stare, like trying to piece together all the madness that's listed there. And then in the background, you just hear someone knocks
Come
on the
in.
door of the shop.
I tell all the servants if they're still here, cover this.
And they just
If
kind
there's
of
a sheet or
they
blanket or
spread
something.
out large enough to like create this shimmering magic field over it.
It's the dragons. They're here. Right? It's that time of day or when?
Oh,
Or would it not be that time of day?
It's like noon.
Oh, shit. Never mind. I thought it was like evening. Okay, I wouldn't have said come in then if it was
No, it's
like
it's daytime.
dragon time.
It is
Okay.
not dragon time. So
Okay. Look out. Who is it?
You look out the glass.
Yeah, the kind of like nook at the front of the building where you can see who's at the front door.
Yeah. They're like, as they knocked, they came over, and you are eye to eye with a face you haven't seen in a long time. You had a group of Amathaean archers escorting you to fight at the camp, and the female Wahora is standing at the door, looking into the glass to see if there was movement, and is looking you in the eye, and her eyes go wide, and she busts in the door. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
All right. Just the fuck?
Hold on.
Back to what, session 3? I gotta find her name.
Hold on.
Surprise, we're not dead.
Do
I think it's more in like the teens.
Fuck was her name?
no, it's not
It'd be like 5 or 6.
Yeah. Hold on.
Kyoki.
This is on page 7
Falan?
of my notes. No, this is
Falan.
this was one of the obscure names. This was one of the
Okay, we
warriors.
had Brielle, Buffet, Oter, Tuma, Louvre, and Wahora.
Yep.
Or Vahora?
Wahora.
Wahora. Yep.
Or unstoppable. How do you spell it?
Wihora.
Definitely not how I spelled it either time. That's okay, because it's there.
Wahora was one of the one of the ones that escorted you guys to deal with the Ivory Phantoms mess. Yeah, they are at your door. So for all of our players and all of our viewers, please enjoy the holiday. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, enjoy some time with your friends and family. We will be off next week. That's not to say that there may not be a stream. We may do a world building stream or something else, a few of us, but the group is taking the day off for holiday travel and stuff like that. So please do not expect a game next week. We will be back the week after on the 5th. The 5th, we will be back with one of our players running a very special one-shot. So come hang out with us for holiday one-shots. We have an interesting one where I get to be a player and one of our other players gets to DM for a one-shot. And then we'll have our noir mystery at the beginning of the new year for a one-shot. So enjoy your holiday. Please, we'll be visiting our friends and family. We encourage you to do the same, and we'll see each other when we all get back. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for playing with us.
Night.